Chapter 1820. Boom! A loud explosion resounded in the sky, filled with dazzling sparks. As it approached the divine flame pearl, it was violently jolted back. His face was pale, and a trace of blood leaked out from the corner of his mouth. His expression was one of unwillingness as he landed on his stone pillar. A banner embroidered with a silver fox hung on that stone pillar. A group of unruly star venerates with surging killing chi gathered around the banner. The space between their brows was filled with hostility. With one look, one could tell that they were ruthless pirates who had killed countless people. It still won't work. Even a sovereign personage would not be able to break through the faux god might here, said the middle-aged man indignantly after he landed on the ground. This man was the pirate overlord of the Infinite Star Sea, the captain of the Silver Lake Pirate Group, also known as Holy Sage Silver Fox. As Xiao Chun stood beside Yinja, he sized up the surroundings. He was somewhat surprised to discover some familiar people. The one in the lead was the Fantasy Cloud Pavilion's young master, O Zhenyun, whom Xiao Chun had met in the pirate hall. He was the one who had sold the black tortoise's shell to him. He was also the one who sent people to kill him. This fellow occupied a stone pillar alone, not even bothering to look at the spirit jades and soul tools on it. He stared at the pillar of divine fire, his eyes full of desire and the flames of ambition flickering in them. The true inheritors of the Fantasy Cloud sect surrounded him, each occupying a stone pillar by themselves. They occupied an area and had a holy venerate elder overseeing it. Their overall strength was extremely strong. However, even if these true inheritors were from the same sect, there would definitely be intense competition for the faux god flame. The situation of the other two great demonic Dao sects, the Heavenly Eagle Castle and the Blood Demon Palace, was similar. The true disciples each occupied a stone pillar. The old acquaintance, Yang Feng, was also here. It wasn't surprising that Lin Yun was delayed by a few days to subdue the Imperial Sword Herb. Along the way, he had cleared the checkpoints alone, so it was normal for this person to be ahead of him. Other than that, there were also some wandering cultivators who formed groups of 2s and 3s. Like the Silver Fox, the other two 7-star pirate gangs in the Infinite Star Sea, the Bloody Shadow Pirate Gang and the Fierce Gale Pirate Gang, also raised their banners and gathered in one direction. Xiao! Yinja brought Xiao Chun and landed on the stone pillar where Elder Chai was. Young man, we meet again, Elder Chai said with a fake smile when he saw Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun answered with a grunt. There was also a pile of spirit jades on this stone pillar. A soul tool hovered above the spirit jades. Superior grade spirit jades. Upon closer inspection, Xiao Chun discovered that the stone pillars surrounding the divine flame pillars were all filled with superior grade spirit jades. Compared to medial grade spirit jades, superior grade spirit jades were of much higher quality. One superior grade spirit jades was equivalent to thousands or even tens of thousands of medial grade spirit jades. Even the Great Thousand Realms, there were pitifully few spirit veins that could produce superior grade spirit jades. Moreover, without exception, they were all occupied by some holy lands, dynasties, and rank 7 sects. Xiao Chun wondered what this group of people was thinking. There was a pile of superior grade spirit jades before them, yet they treated it like nothing. Xiao Chun kept staring at the faux god flame. It was like if he focused on the superior grade spirit jades, the faux god flame would brush past him if he delayed. Yinja and Elder Chai spoke in low voices. Xiao Chun could not be bothered with them. He directly started to break the restrictions on the superior grade spirit jades. Compared to the medial grade spirit jades from before, the restrictions on the superior grade spirit jades were much stronger. However, they were definitely not as strong as the restrictions on the soul tools. It was only a matter of time before Xiao Chun broke them. Boom! The sword intent soared into the clouds. Such a strange movement immediately startled the surrounding people staring at the faux god flame. Yinja, when did you sneak back here again? The Silver Fox pirate group's captain's gaze lingered on Xiao Chun for only a moment before shifting to Yinja, who had returned. You even brought along a young man who is greedy for money. Ha ha ha. He is only a major primal core venerate. I wonder if the restrictions will shake him to death. Yinja, aren't you going to help? When the pirates spoke, they were very carefree. As they looked at Xiao Qin's actions, their eyes filled with disdain. Anyone with some experience here would not care about superior grade spirit jades compared to the faux god flame. Superior grade spirit jades were simply nothing. Even if Xiao Qian wanted to make a move, it would be more reliable to obtain the soul tools. Collecting the spirit jades made others look down on him. Everyone here had status. If they were not holy venerates, they were true inheritors of rank 6 sections. Their experience was not low. Yinja showed a slightly embarrassed expression. He had not expected Xiao Qian to suddenly make a move on this pile of spirit jades. However, he discovered that Xiao Qian did not care at all, continuing to break the restrictions on the superior grade spirit jades. Little brother Chun, I'll help you collect these spirit jades later. There is no rush. Yinja coughed twice and looked at Xiao Qian. Xiao Qian said casually, "It's fine. Go about your business. In any case, you are just standing around." "It's you." Two people in the crowd showed shock in their eyes. One of them burned with rage, and the other showed a murderous intent in his eyes. Naturally, the one burning with rage was Yang Feng. He turned his head and said to the leading elder of the Heavenly Eagle Castle, "Elder Gao, he is the white-robed mad demon who killed my sect's core disciples." With two holy venerates by Xiao Qian's side, naturally, Yang Feng did not dare to make a move. He could only turn his gaze to the Heavenly Eagle Castle's holy venerate elder. "Huh, is he also the person who kicked junior brother Fei Yang?" The other true inheritor of the Heavenly Eagle Castle mocked softly. Elder Gao and the top true inheritor of the sect, Long Tingyu, stood on a stone pillar. Long Tingyu opened his eyes, and a brilliant light flickered in them. "Elder, this person is somewhat strange. If he is useless, Yinja would not have brought him here for no reason. We can test him." Elder Gao sent a voice projection. "That is exactly what I was thinking." Elder Gao raised his gaze and fixed it on Yinja. "Captain Yin, please hand over this person beside you. He killed more than 10 of my Heavenly Eagle Castle's core disciples. If you do not hand him over, the Heavenly Eagle Castle will treat you as an accomplice. Yinja, this fellow also killed my Fantasy Cloud sect's core disciples and several outer administrators. His crimes are unforgivable. If you do not hand him over today, my Fantasy Cloud sect will treat you as an accomplice as well." Just as Elder Gao finished speaking, the voice of the Illusory Cloud sect's leading elder rang out. The situation immediately turned interesting. Two great demonic Dao sects actually wanted people at the same time. Yinja immediately felt a headache coming on. Since when did this Xiao Qian create such a huge problem? Before Yinja could plan how to use Xiao Qian, someone already targeted him. Yinja turned his head to look at Xiao Qian. He saw that Xiao Qian was still anxiously breaking the restrictions on the superior grade spirit jades, as if nothing had happened. Damn it! This bastard's ability to cause trouble is really heaven-defying. Previously, Xiao Qian helped me destroy the Silver Fox Pirate Group's young master. This time, he actually offended two great demonic Dao sects at the same time. Could it be that he wants me to help him deal with this? Yinja looked at Senior Chai. However, Senior Chai remained expressionless as he said indifferently, "It has already come to this. No matter how you plan, it is already too late. Just say it in advance. The sooner you say it, the better." Yinja immediately cursed in his heart. He knew that this Senior Chai had no intention of competing for the faux god flame. He mainly wanted some natural treasures that could extend one's life. There was no need to worry too much. Two great demonic Dao sects wanted to cause trouble at the same time, and Senior Chai expressed his neutrality. After thinking for a while, Yinja suddenly smiled and said, "This Yin has no connection with this little brother. I only brought him here because of some fortuitous encounters." At this crucial moment, Yinja made a decision. He could not offend the two great demonic Dao sects for Xiao Qian. The two great demonic Dao sects were horrifying factions with sovereign personages and many holy venerate elders. They were much stronger than 7-star pirate groups. Yinja could not afford to take this blame. Xiao Qian, who was currently breaking the restrictions, revealed a mocking smile. He was not surprised. It was already very impressive that this cheap big brother of his could act for so long. In that case, why are you still not handing him over? The two demonic Dao sect elders pressed forward with an aggressive aura. Yinja smiled and said, I really cannot hand him over. He is the one who opened the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure trove. He is the only one who can break through the faux god might and enter the treasure pillar with the divine flame. What? The moment Yinja said that, a huge commotion immediately broke out. Some of the people who originally did not care about this matter focused their gazes on Xiao Chun. The person who could enter the treasure pillar with the divine flame and break the stalemate was a major primal core venerate? Or was he the one who opened the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure trove? That was impossible. There were so many of them, older generation holy venerates and outstanding talents of the demonic Dao sections. Who knew how many methods they had tried? All of them returned empty-handed. An insignificant major primal core venerate could enter the treasure pillar with the divine flame? Many questions gathered in everyone's mind. Only one word appeared in everyone's mind: disbelief. The elders of the two great devil sects were also shocked. They didn't expect that after a round of interrogation, they would actually get such a result. Words are no proof. Captain Yin, you have to prove it, Elder Gao said coldly as he stared at Yinja. Yinja felt helpless that the situation had turned out like this. However, at this point, he could not be bothered to overthink it. He only hoped to break the stalemate quickly. Given his and Senior Chai's strength, they still had a high chance of obtaining the faux god flame. Senior Chai's strength was even more terrifying than many people imagined. As long as he was around, Yinja had a 60% chance of success. It was worth a gamble. However, if this continued and the demonic Dao sect sovereign personages arrived, Senior Chai would not be strong enough, and Yinja would not have any hope. Little brother Xiao, this is your only chance to preserve your life. Prove it to everyone. Yinja took out the Scarlet Blood War banner and handed it to Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun did not turn around or care about Yinja. He continued to break the restrictions on the superior grade spirit stones. Yinja showed a somewhat embarrassed expression. Everyone's gazes were focused on this place. However, Xiao Chun still acted like nothing had happened. All he cared about was the superior grade spirit stones. No one knew what Xiao Chun was thinking. Brat, quickly prove that you opened the Scarlet Blood War treasure trove. Quickly. If you can climb the pillar with the divine flame, I'll give you 10,000 superior grade spirit jades. As long as you can remove the faux god might, I'll give you 100,000 superior grade spirit jades. Although Xiao Chun was not in a rush, the group of holy venerate experts became anxious. Some of the unruly pirates even could not hold back and showed signs of snatching Xiao Chun away. Just as everyone's patience reached its limit, Xiao Chun finally subdued the pile of superior grade spirit jades and slowly turned around. Xiao Chun glanced at Yinja, then at the anxious crowd. Then he smiled faintly and said, Since everyone hopes that I can climb the pillar with the divine flame, I will not stand on ceremony. Chapter 1821. Someone needed to break this stalemate, especially someone who was only a major primal core venerate. This was because such a cultivation would not be able to endure the inheritance of the faux god flame. If one's cultivation was too low, their soul would explode. Most importantly, in their opinion, Xiao Chun was a major primal core venerate. So what if he could climb the divine flame pillar? He could still kill him if he wanted to. If it was someone else, such as Yinja or Elder Chai, the situation would definitely be different. The instant Xiao Chun received the Scarlet Blood War banner, his aura suddenly changed. The war banner flapped loudly, giving off a faint scarlet light. The situation suddenly changed. Xiao Chun's body seemed to be covered by a layer of invisible light, becoming the main character of this space. It made people unable to ignore him and uncontrollably focus their attention on Xiao Chun. Kacha kacha. The flags of the 3 7-star pirate crews started to tremble violently. Cracks even appeared on the flagpoles. He really obtained the acknowledgement of the Scarlet Blood War banner. Quickly put away the Silver Fox War banner. The Silver Fox Holy Venerate's expression changed drastically. Daring to raise his flag before the legendary pirate king's war flag was undoubtedly a form of mockery. There was naturally a price to pay for mocking the King War banner. Blood Shadow and Violent Gale, the two great pirate groups, also hurriedly put away their war flags. If they persisted, the war banner would definitely be damaged under such pressure. A strong aura spread out from Xiao Chen's body. Standing beside Xiao Chun, Yinja, Senior Chai, and the others frowned slightly. With a light tap of his feet, he landed on another stone pillar. At this moment, there was no need for him to prove himself. When Xiao Chun grasped the war banner, everyone believed Yinja's words. The Scarlet Blood treasure was indeed Xiao Chen's. There was indeed only one person who could climb the treasure pillar of divine fire. Ha! Yinja, you didn't lie after all. Brat, hurry up and ascend the divine flame pillar. Take out the faux god flame. The Blood Shadow pirate group's captain could not help but laugh loudly. The stalemate continued for a long time. The various holy venerates present all tried countless methods. However, they were unable to climb the divine flame pillar. Now that hope was right before their eyes, they were all extremely excited. Junior, what are you waiting for? Quickly climb the treasure pillar with the divine flame and retrieve the faux god flame for us. Why are you dilly-dallying? Do you want to die? Hurry up, or I'll kill you. All kinds of impatient noises could be heard, and all kinds of angry words were directed at Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun sneered in his heart. His expression was calm and indifferent. This won't do. Before I go up, I have to leave a restriction on his body. Unlike the others, Yinja knew that Xiao Chun was not as simple as he looked. He was not an ordinary major primal core venerate. If he was allowed to ascend the pillar of divine fire, something uncontrollable might happen. It was necessary to leave a countermeasure in case anything went wrong. Xiao Chen's expression did not change, but he frowned slightly. Yinja had completely shed his disguise. That's right. It's good to leave a restriction behind, lest that little bastard try anything funny. You, Yinja, can leave a restriction in his body. Our Heavenly Eagle Castle. Right after Yinja spoke, the Heavenly Eagle Castle's Yangfeng immediately chimed in. Right, that's right. Our Fantasy Cloud sect needs to leave a restriction in his body as well. Ojinyin said coldly as his eyes flickered. That makes sense. Our Fantasy Cloud sect needs to leave a restriction in his body as well. Ha ha ha. Of course, our Blood Shadow pirate group needs to leave a restriction in his body as well. Ha ha. Of course, my Silver Fox pirate group can't miss out on such a thing. After Yin just stirred up trouble, he immediately got people to speak up one after another, saying that they wanted to leave a restriction in Xiao Chen's body as well. The four holy venerates and the various true inheritors all looked at Xiao Chen like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. There was no respect in their eyes at all, and their words were impudent. Interesting. All of you are shouting so happily. What did I agree to your request? To ask you to leave a restriction in my body. Amidst the clamor, a bone-chilling voice suddenly rang out. Xiao Chen's gaze swept through the surroundings, passing through the faces of the people, making a fuss. As Xiao Chen's cold gaze drifted around, the clamor slowly calmed down. Humph, are you qualified to retort? You are just a mere major primal core venerate, and you dare to be so unbridled before us? Don't forget that your life is still in the hands of our Heavenly Eagle Castle and the Fantasy Cloud sect. When Yangfeng saw Xiao Chen's gaze, he raged in his heart. He continued coldly, You trash, don't think of playing any tricks. I told you to be obedient, so be obedient. Don't think that you are the reincarnation of the Scarlet Blood Pirate King, just because of this. Xiao Chen shifted his gaze and fixed it on Yangfeng. He did not say anything, only looking at him coldly. Seeing Xiao Chen's gaze, Yangfeng felt extremely pleased. What's wrong? Feeling sullen? Here, we are either holy venerates or rank 6 demonic Dao sect true inheritors. In terms of identity, status, and strength, who can you compare to? Just be obedient and listen to me. Yangfeng shifted his gaze and knelt in Elder Gao's direction. Elder Gao, please let me make a move and teach him a lesson. obediently leave a restriction in his body to show the might of my heavenly eagle castle. Elder Gao's expression turned sullen, feeling extremely upset in his heart. Yang Feng killed so many core disciples of my heavenly eagle castle, yet he still dares to retort. Does he not know what kind of situation he is in? This is too unbridled. Very well. Yang Feng, I permit you to make a move. Leave a restriction on my heavenly eagle castle and teach him to be more obedient. Yang Feng showed wild joy on his face. He could finally teach this fellow a lesson and wash away his previous humiliation. Yang Feng knelt on one knee and performed a cup fist salute with a smile. This disciple obeys. I will definitely not humiliate my heavenly eagle castle. Ah! But before he could finish his words, he saw a blade of grass silently fly over. In the next moment, a resplendent sword light burst out of Yang Feng's body, immediately cutting off all signs of life. Sword holes appeared all over his body, and blood spurted out like a fountain. Yang Feng still maintained his kneeling posture. The joyful smile on his face did not fade away, instead freezing. Yang Feng. Elder Gao showed a startled expression as he looked at Yang Feng. This was simply inconceivable. The late-stage star venerate Yang Feng, a heavenly eagle castle true inheritor, died in the blink of an eye before Elder Gao. Absurd. Absurd. This is simply absurd. Senior Brother Yang. Junior Brother Yang. Boom. When the many heavenly eagle castle true inheritors and the leading elders called out, Yang Feng finally responded. The sword intent in his body accumulated and exploded wildly. The resplendent sword light soared into the clouds. Flesh and blood flew everywhere, a cruel sight to behold. The scene was dead silent. Everyone had a look of disbelief on their faces. As they looked at Xiao Chun, horror flashed in their eyes. This young man was terrifyingly calm. He had made his move without making a sound. When Yang Feng knelt on one knee with his side facing Xiao Chun directly attacked without hesitation. Xiao Chun killed a rank 6 sect true inheritor on a whim. Even if some of the holy venerates among them could kill Yang Feng, they would not dare to do so in front of Elder Gao. It was a little too daring, too lawless. Such decisiveness and killing and boldness were something that many ambitious and ruthless people of the demonic Tao could not compare to. What was a demon? A demon was a person's pride and unyielding character. A demon was innately proud. They were extraordinary. Those who humiliated me died. Those who scolded me died. Those who killed me had to die. As Yinja looked at Xiao Chun, he was so shocked that he could not close his mouth. It was like at this moment, he truly got to know Xiao Chun. This white-clad bladesman before Yinja was much more terrifying than he had imagined. From the very start, Yinja could not control Xiao Chun. Yinja felt some regret in his heart. He should not have brought Xiao Chun here. This is impossible. Elder Gao somewhat lost his rationality. He turned his head and looked at Xiao Chun, his eyes filled with confusion. Xiao Chun's expression remained calm, not showing any fluctuations. It was like everything that happened earlier was not his doing. Elder Gao clenched his teeth and enunciated every word clearly. You killed him. Xiao Chun replied indifferently. If someone wants to kill me, I will definitely kill them. Good, 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 good. If someone wants to kill me, I will definitely kill them. Heavenly Eagle Castle disciples, heed my orders. Immediately kill this white-clad thief. Roger. The enraged Elder Gao snorted coldly. The remaining 5 true inheritors of the Heavenly Eagle Castle did not dare to attack. Aside from the top true inheritor, Long Tingyu, the others all soared into the air and charged at Xiao Chun. They circulated their demonic Tao cultivation techniques and forcefully absorbed the power of everything in the world. Their auras soared continuously. They soared into the air, looking like a mountain range, a river, or a surging sea. Good timing. Xiao Chun laughed loudly, and his eyes shone with golden light. He instantly activated his great desolate Ian Overlord-class bloodline. Xiao Chun reared his head back and roared. A dragon roar spread out in all directions. The terrifying dragon might immediately knocked away the faux god might in the surroundings. I am a true dragon, born with a lofty character and filled with hot-bloodedness. Why would I fear a battle? Chapter 1822. Kill. The Heavenly Eagle Castle's demonic cultivation technique focused on aura. Once they circulated their demonic cultivation technique, the Heavenly Eagle Castle's demonic cultivation technique would explode. Once they circulated their demonic cultivation technique, they would extract the aura of everything in the world at all times. The longer they used it, the stronger their aura would be. They gave off an endless feeling. The cultivators who fought with them would all feel extremely sullen. This was a completely unreasonable fighting method. As long as one took a step back, one could forget about advancing further. This was because the other party's next strike would definitely have an aura that was twice as strong as the previous strike, perhaps even several times stronger. What did it mean to be unreasonable? That was exactly what it meant. However, today, this group of people met Xiao Chun, who was even more unreasonable than them. When the four Heavenly Eagle Castle True Inheritors worked together to charge over, Xiao Chun instantly activated his Blue Dragon bloodline, an overlord-class bloodline of the ancient Great Desolate Eon. At this moment, Xiao Chun unleashed it without holding anything back. The terrifying aura even temporarily knocked away the faux god might. Without the suppression of the faux god might, the four immediately felt their physical bodies relax. However, this relaxation did not last for even a second. In the next moment, a dragon might even more terrifying than the faux god might surged over. Boom! The four suddenly suffered a heavy blow, and their expressions changed drastically. They all felt their bodies plummet toward the deep abyss like lead balls. In that instant, these four revealed horrified expressions. Once they fell into the deep abyss, they would die without a burial. That would truly be dying without a burial. Even a holy venerate would not be able to escape death, smashed into meat paste. No one could survive. Elder Gao's expression changed slightly, and he immediately wanted to help. However, Long Tingyu stopped him. Elder Gao, this is not a good time to make a move. Those old fellows are watching. The next moment, Elder Gao realized that if he was injured in any way, he would not be able to escape. If Xiao Chun got injured, he would not be a match for the other holy venerates at all. Furthermore, those who can become my Heavenly Eagle Castle's true inheritors are all skilled. How could they fall so easily? A crafty light flashed in Long Tingyu's eyes. He shouted, "Junior brothers, don't hold back anymore. Quickly capture that white-clad thief." The moment Long Tingyu said that, the people of the other factions could no longer hold back. If the Heavenly Eagle Castle's people really captured Xiao Chun, then the faux god flame would end up in the Heavenly Eagle Castle's hands. The leading elder of the Fantasy Cloud sect said, "Quickly make a move. We absolutely cannot let the Heavenly Eagle Castle's people capture that brat." Roger. Aside from Xiaoho Yuan, the 5 true disciples of the Fantasy Cloud sect, including O Jinyun, moved out at the same time. All of you, wait for an opportunity to strike. If there's a chance, snatch him over. A cold light flashed in the Silver Fox Holy Venerate's eyes as he instructed his late-stage Star Venerate subordinates beside him. I guarantee it will be a piece of cake. Immediately, the true inheritors of the 3 Demon Royal Halls and the experts of the 3 7-star pirate groups took action. In their eyes, Xiao Chun had become a delicious cake that they had to fight over. The situation was completely out of control. Yinja's gaze was gloomy as his gaze descended on his Xiao Chun, and his killing intent was like a blazing flame that burned fiercely. The 4 Heavenly Eagle Castle True Inheritors finally brought out their trump cards. Under the pressure of Xiao Chen's strong dragon might, they forcefully climbed up the stone pillar where Xiao Chun was. When they looked at Xiao Chun, they did not hesitate to surround him. Thunder Dragon 9 transformations. However, no matter how fast they were, how could they be faster than Xiao Chun, who had been waiting for a long time? The moment the 4 climbed up the stone pillar, they executed their killing moves. However, this time, the Thunder Dragon 9 transformations did not split up. Instead, The attack power of the 81 saber strikes of the 9 transformations all gathered into one move. In that instant, the Scarlet Blood War banner in Shao Chen's hand pierced through the chest of one of the 4 true inheritors, sending him flying into the deep abyss. Startled cries rang out, but Shao Chen's hands did not stop moving. The primal chaos, veritable essence energy in his 9-star primal core spun, and the Taiji force field instantly formed. With the support of the horrifying dragon might, Shao Chen's Taiji energy became even more clingy. The 3 true inheritors in the depths could only bring out 60% of their strength. That was already their limit. Dang, dang, dang. One man and one banner. Shao Chen easily dealt with the 3's attacks. The dragon might from the ancient blue dragon firmly suppressed the 3's auras. This prevented the 3 from bringing out the characteristics of their demonic cultivation techniques. From start to end, Shao Chen suppressed them. It looked like the experts of the Fantasy Cloud sect and the other factions would charge over soon. Shao Chen did not want to drag this out. He stabbed the Scarlet Blood War banner into the ground and quickly drew the Tyrant Saber with his right hand. With a saber in hand, Shao Chen was like a different person from without a saber. The saber Dao and the thunder Dao layered over each other. Then, Shao Chen executed an incredibly tyrannical 1,000-army break. With the Tyrant Saber in hand, Shao Chen could block 1,000 soldiers alone. Break! The strong saber technique materialized a berserk saber wind that blew on the 3 Heavenly Eagle Castle true inheritors. The saber wind cut the 3's bodies, leaving them covered in wounds. The true inheritors did their best to block Shao Chen's killing move. However, after the Blue Dragon bloodline activated, their auras were firmly suppressed. The true inheritors could not circulate their demonic cultivation techniques. How could they block Shao Chen's saber strike? When the Tyrant Saber arrived, the might of 1,000-army break burst out, knocking the 3 out of the stone pillars and into the deep abyss. 10 moves. In less than 10 moves, the 4 true inheritors of the Heavenly Eagle Castle all lost. This was completely unexpected. Even Long Tingyu, who played a trick, did not expect this. Originally, Long Tingyu thought that these people should be more than enough to last until the experts of the other factions arrived. However, who could have imagined that when facing Shao Chen, who had activated his bloodline and held the terrain advantage, these people couldn't even last 10 moves? How terrifying! Is this the might of an overlord-class bloodline of the Great Desolate Ian? Truly incredible. The top 100 of the Great Desolate Ian bloodlines are all demonic geniuses. Among them, the overlord-class Great Desolate Ian bloodlines are even more heaven-defying. However, I have never heard of such a dragon race bloodline among the 6 dragon race bloodlines. Who cares about the dragon race bloodline or the Great Desolate Ian bloodline? He cannot last for long. No matter how heaven-defying he is, he will reach the end soon. When the experts of the other 2 demonic Dao sects and the 3 pirate groups arrive, he'll have no choice but to surrender. No matter how powerful his bloodline is, he will not be able to last for long. He might be awe-inspiring now, but he will become a dog later. Upon seeing Shao Chen kill the 4 true inheritors in 10 moves, the experts of the various factions felt shocked. However, they were all peerless experts with broad horizons. They could tell a glance. With one glance, they could tell that Shao Chen relied on the power of his bloodline to suddenly erupt with such strong power. Even if Shao Chen erupted with the power of his bloodline, he would not have been able to kill the 4 true inheritors so easily elsewhere. Once the power of the bloodline was exhausted, Shao Chen would immediately revert to his original form, becoming a major primal core venerate that he could easily crush. He couldn't retreat now. He had to seize this opportunity to capture Shao Chen and control Shao Chen. Shao Chen's eyes shone with a dazzling golden light as he looked at the experts coming from all directions. His gaze was ice-cold, devoid of any emotions. Dragon might surge from Shao Chen's body. After activating his bloodline, he was no longer suppressed by this space. His aura surged violently, and the dragon's roar reverberated in all directions. He watched as these people surrounded him and approached him. Xiao Chun was expressionless and didn't move at all. What is this guy trying to do? You know you can't escape death, so you've given up resisting? No matter how much he jumps around, he is still just an evil dragon. He can't possibly overturn the heavens. Seeing that Xiao Chun did not take any action, the holy venerate experts observing the situation all started mocking him. However, just as the experts from all directions approached Xiao Chun, the situation suddenly changed. Xiao Chun's left hand quickly moved, forming a strange hand seal. It was like a lotus flower never touching water or the sun, and moon never hanging high in the sky. Buddhist sect's 7-kill seal. In that instant, Xiao Chun's already horrifying aura soared sevenfold, turning into a pitch-black, veil-like killing chi that spread into the surroundings. Damn it, I can't move. This killing chi has already infiltrated my internal organs, limbs, bones, and even the depths of my soul. It's all his killing chi. It's over. What should I do? Immediately, fear spread throughout the bodies of the various experts in the depths of the killing chi. This was a fear that was stuck in their throats, unable to express. Horror filled their hearts. This feeling was 100 times more unbearable than suffocating. Kill. An expressionless Buddha appeared behind Xiao Chun. At this moment, resolving the mundane cut off all emotions and desires, severing all attachments to the mundane world. The Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique's second move, resolving the mundane. Boom! An eternal saber light swept out, igniting the killing chi in the surroundings. Kasie. In this instant, the physical bodies and souls of all the attackers turned to dust. Not to mention that being emotionless was demonic, but becoming a Buddha with a thought was even more terrifying. The golden light in Xiao Chun's eyes faded, and his great desolate Ian bloodline went dormant once more. Then, his aura slowly recovered. However, the surroundings remained silent. Not a single sound could be heard. The seemingly thin, white-clad youth standing beside the Scarlet Blood War banner held a saber in his hand as he looked around. It was like he was announcing who is the true ruler of this place. Chapter 1823. He made use of the great desolate Ian bloodline to stay for a final period of time. Xiao Chun used the vast dragon might to turn it into a 7-fold killing chi to kill all the true inheritors and starve venerate experts who came to attack. His body and soul were annihilated. Such a cruel massacre inevitably stimulated the demonic nature in Xiao Chun's body. As his long hair fluttered in the wind, his body emitted a terrifying demonic might. Even without the primordial dragon might, no one dared to underestimate this demonic might. Many of the demonic path experts present looked at the current Xiao Chun. None of them dared to say that their demonic might was stronger than Xiao Chun's. Yin Zhe's expression changed. As he looked at Xiao Chun, he exclaimed in shock, "You entered the demonic Tao." He remembered that when he first met Xiao Chun did not have the slightest bit of demonic nature. He cultivated the righteous cultivation technique and absorbed the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. His temperament was also upright. But at this moment, Xiao Chun was clearly full of demonic nature, and his eyes were filled with the gaze of a primordial beast. This was a gaze similar to the Yazi beasts. The demonic nature that Xiao Chun's body gave off was also the result of his physical body and bloodline being modified by the immemorial demon soul formation. It was inevitable for Yin Zhe to be surprised. Xiao Chun smiled faintly. With this smile, all the demonic aura disappeared in an instant. The swastika on Xiao Chun's forehead shone with a golden light. His entire body was bathed in a gentle Buddhist light. The light of the Mahesvara Buddha's Sarira that his physical body had absorbed slowly spread out. Becoming a Buddha with a smile was like a spring breeze. Tell me, am I a Buddha or a demon? Xiao Chun looked at Yin Zhe and said softly with a faint smile, "What a pure Buddhist light. How is this possible?" Yin Zhe turned pale with fright. His expression changed drastically, and his eyes were filled with disbelief. The holy venerate experts on the other stone pillars, as well as the top true inheritors of the demonic sect, all opened their eyes, dumbfounded. He had never seen a person with two completely different temperaments. Furthermore, they were both extremely pure. Furthermore, they were two completely opposing Taoists. You actually cultivate both Buddhism and demonic Tao. How audacious. Sooner or later, you'll go crazy. Since ancient times, good and evil have always been incompatible. Those who dare to cultivate both Buddhism and demonic Tao never had a good ending. Since ancient times, there has never been an exception. Sooner or later, you'll be doomed eternally. That's right. The righteous path cannot tolerate you, and the demonic path cannot tolerate you either. There won't be a place for you in this world, and your life will be filled with calamities. It was unknown which nerve of these people had been angered, but when they saw the demonic might on Shao Chen's body recede and the Buddha's aura appear, they were all shocked. The experts of the older generation started cursing loudly. Shao Chen laughed out loud. Amidst his presumptuous laughter, the Buddhist light on his body disappeared, and the Buddhist mark between his eyebrows quietly faded away. The saber intent all over Shao Chen's body turned into a move that soared into the clouds, clashing with the faux god, might filling the sky. Buzz, buzz, buzz. The crisp hum of a saber resounded in all directions in an instant. That was a pure saber intent, unbridled and proud, free and unrestrained. Shao Chen laughed loudly and said, I am not an immortal or a demon, nor am I a Buddha. I am me, the white-robed Shao Chen. My original heart has not changed, and my original heart has not changed. I look at flowers with tears in my eyes, and the flowers cry. I look at the moon with worry, and the moon grieves. Gods, Buddhas, immortals, and demons are just superficial appearances. The heart has all sorts of appearances. Hence, all things in the world have all sorts of appearances. You see me killing people like flies, so you treat me as the white-robed mad demon. Others see me as pure and untainted, so they call me the white-robed bladesman. However, in the end, I am me. What does what you think of me have to do with me? At this moment, Shao Chen did not have any demonic might or Buddhist light. There was only a pure saber intent and the pride of following his original heart. Shao Chen's words stunned many of the people present. They vaguely felt touched in the depths of their hearts. The voices scolding and cursing Shao Chen stopped abruptly. None of them could say anything. After a long time, Yin just startled awake. He looked at Shao Chen and asked, What exactly are you trying to do? With your strength, there is no way for you to obtain the faux god flame. Why must you do this, offending all of us? That's right. If you're willing, this place is filled with soul tools. As long as you are willing to hand over the faux god flame, we will naturally work together to help you break the restrictions on the soul tools. There is no need to be so stubborn. The moment Yin just said that, another holy venerate immediately agreed. At this moment, the Silver Fox Holy Venerate also said, Junior, it was our fault for wanting to plant restrictions in your body earlier. We can also forgive you for killing our subordinates. As long as you are willing to hand over the faux god flame, we can fulfill another request. Immediately, all sorts of voices rang out. The various Holy Venerate experts all said that as long as Shao Chen was willing, they could let bygones be bygones. They could let bygones be bygones. If Shao Chen wanted a soul tool, they could even work together to help him break the restrictions. As Shao Chen looked at the flame on the divine flame pillar, which gave off a divine light, he remained silent. After a while, he suddenly said, The faux god flame belongs to those who are capable. You can fight for it, so why can't I? As the saying goes, if one's obsession is not dispelled, it will become a demonic barrier. However, if one does not forget it, there will be an echo. Senior Scarlet Blood Pirate King, am I right? It seemed like Shao Chen did not hear the various promises and temptations from the surroundings. He only looked at the faux god flame and muttered to himself. However, as though it was responding to Shao Chen, the faux god flame suddenly dimmed somewhat. The Scarlet Blood War banner fluttering beside Shao Chen dropped its aura, and slowly lowered. That's not right. This is the faux god flame's response, telling Xiao Chun that something is not right. After being stunned for a while, Xiao Chun revealed a faint smile as he entered deep thought. At this moment, Xiao Chun remembered his obsession, the moon's seeking. After obtaining the faux god flame's response, he suddenly understood some things. There were many things in the world that the more one cared about, the tighter one grasped it. The more one cared about it, the more uncontrollable it was. In the past, Xiao Chun always felt that he had to be as strong as the outstanding talents of the Great Thousand Realms before he could be worthy of meeting Ryue. Hence, Xiao Chun's obsession did not disappear. He could not forget about the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's inheritance, treating it as something that he had to obtain if he wanted to meet Lu Ryue. The more Xiao Chun cared about it, the deeper his heart demon became. Even after he obtained the faux god flame, his heart demon still remained. Even after obtaining the faux god flame, he would still feel doubtful, feeling that he was not strong enough and was not worthy of meeting Ryue. Furthermore, he would increase his strength like he was possessed. If that was really the case, Xiao Chun might embark on a path of no return until he truly met Lu Ryue. Perhaps the other party would only see a familiar stranger and not him at all. In the end, it would be like water flowing from his hand. With such a blow, perhaps Xiao Chun would end up like the Qing Emperor back then, falling into the demonic Tao, not recognizing his kin, killing his master, killing his lover. This fellow is smiling one moment and frowning the next. Has he turned stupid? That is really possible. It is hard to avoid accidents when dual cultivating Buddhism and demonic Tao. It would not be surprising for him to become a fool. Should we take this opportunity to directly suppress him? Right now, he is distracted. It will be incredibly easy to subdue him. Just when everyone thought that Xiao Chun had gone crazy, Xiao Chun suddenly started laughing again. However, this time, his laughter was filled with joy and relief. It was a kind of release, a kind of enlightenment after realizing the wrong path. As Xiao Chun laughed, he looked at the faux god flame. Then, he used all his vital qi and shouted, "My name is Scarlet Blood. My body is scarlet iron, and my blood is burning." His voice was like thunder, echoing in all directions. Everyone was stunned by this, and they were feeling anxious and bewildered. Just as they were feeling bewildered, an even more majestic, resonant, and sorrowful voice rang out in the vast space. This voice was filled with hot-bloodedness as it replied to Xiao Chun excitedly. "For half my life, I wandered from place to place, wandering from place to place. For half my life, I was unrivaled, moving about without fear." That voice entered one's blood, bones, and soul. The voice was filled with hot-bloodedness and iron bones. It reverberated in the surroundings, never fading. When Xiao Chun heard the echo, his eyes also filled with excitement. He replied with a voice that came from his flesh and soul. "My body is like a sword, filled with pride. My heart is like the sun and moon, shining brightly for 10,000 years." Loud laughter rang out in the reply. "My body is like a mountain spanning 5,000 kilometers. My eyes are like the many stars, making the sky shine without night." Suddenly, surging demonic clouds gathered in the sky and turned into a gargantuan hand. The Scarlet Blood Pirate King traveled through time and space, and a heavy voice rang out, covering the sky with one hand. Boom! There was no light in the world, pitch black. One could not even see their own fingers when they stretched out their hands. The various holy venerates could not even send out their mental energy. They were completely blind, no different from ordinary people in the dark. However, the voice of covering the sky with one hand kept echoing in their ears. Xiao Chen's laughter stopped. He only grasped the Scarlet Blood War banner beside him and replied to the words of the surroundings. He said, "Proclaim myself emperor with one hand." Then he raised his hand to the sky, and all the faux god might was drawn over, burning on Xiao Chen's body. In the boundless darkness, the faux god might became the only light in the world. Chapter 1824. However, at this crucial moment, a black figure suddenly appeared before Xiao Chun at lightning speed. It was not just a clump of flame, but also the inextinguishable wool left behind by a legendary pirate king. The flame on Shao Chen's body blazed even more intensely, and his foe god might soared. These holy venerates could not block one strike from Shao Chen at all. Bang! Cracks appeared in the stone pillar under Shao Chen's feet, trembling slightly. Shao Chen's voice reverberated in the surroundings. A continuously strengthening foe god might appeared on his body. Shao Chen soared into the air and flew towards the stone pillar with the divine flame. Yinja flew back while vomiting blood. He roared ferociously and launched himself at Shao Chen again, extremely dissatisfied. A careful look revealed that the first item was a spirit jade. However, this spirit jade flickered with light, looking crystalline and translucent, not tainted by any dirt at all. It looked like a precious star treasure. The entire space seemed to turn into a solid sea. Waves surged, forcing the many holy venerates back several steps. Attacked together, comparisons were odious. After all, Shao Chen was going to inherit the foe god flame before them. To the darkness, Shao Chen was the spark that lit up the night, dazzling and resplendent. Yinja guffawed like a maniac. He shouted, "However, it is not too late to kill you now." Shao Chen used his strongest appearance to climb the stone pillar with the divine flame that everyone dreamed of. However, Yinja could not do anything about it. On the stone pillar with the divine flame, Shao Chen's foe god might had already reached a terrifying level. Then, he moved his left hand and ferociously pointed at Senior Chai. With just one more step, Shao Chen would be able to climb the pillar. Even if a sovereign personage descended, that sovereign personage could only watch helplessly like them. "Huh, you trash. You want to kill me?" Yinja could not move at all, losing control of his soul and physical body. He was at the mercy of others, unable to retaliate. Shao Chen clenched his teeth and endured. Then, he ferociously swung the scarlet blood war banner in his hand against the immense pressure. Kassier, 8 treasures, shining with light, appeared in the surroundings. He wanted to extinguish the flame on Shao Chen's body and suppress his foe god might. Grabbing the war flag, he twisted it lightly. Yinja's expression was extremely gloomy. When he saw that Shao Chen was about to fly to the pillar of divine fire like a hot knife through butter, the rage in his heart immediately burned. Many figures flew over from the sky. There were the elders of the demonic sect, the captains of the 7 stars, and various itinerant cultivators. Supreme grade spiritual jade. When Shao Chen looked around, he saw many holy venerates lying on the stone pillars, unable to get up. These holy venerates showed hateful expressions as they looked at Shao Chen. However, now, Shao Chen was burning with flames. The might of a foe god came from all directions like moths flying over. Its entire body was pitch black like ink, and its radiance was restrained. The banner that descended from the sky was embroidered with a primordial, ferocious beast. It was the size of an ox, and its appearance was that of a tiger. It wore scarlet fur that was like a porcupine, and a pair of wings were spread open. A single horn grew out from between its brows, and its eyes were extremely vicious and filled with demonic nature. If looks could kill, Shao Chen would have died more than 100 times already. The holy venerate were layered over each other and turned into a horrifying demonic image that landed on Shao Chen's head. There were the holy venerate wills of the 3 pirate groups' captains, the holy venerate wills of the 3 demonic sect elders, Yinja, Senior Chai, and the other itinerant cultivators. Shao Chen continued looking. The second item was a pitch-black ghost pennant. This was an extremely high-quality soul tool. This was a cold light that prevented all of them from obtaining the foe god flame. The fourth item was an exquisite pipa. The fifth item was a secret manual. The sixth item was a mutated fruit. The seventh item was a treasure bow. The eighth item was actually a kasaya. The surging sword intent was like a vast army surging out, kicking up boundless yellow sand. It carried a cold, killing intent and turned into a boundless sword intent of storm. Light, the foe god might infused into Shao Chen's body, went from weak to strong, slowly strengthening. Ha ha! Who is your big brother? You son of a bitch. This old man really regrets not smacking you to death back in the grave sea. Not only did he have to risk his life, he could be killed by the sword intent at any time. Xiao Chan sent the various holy venerates flying like sandbags, vomiting blood and tumbling in the air. Xiao Chun held up the scarlet blood war banner. Faux God might continuously poured into his surroundings, burning fiercely as it supported him. The war banner fluttered beside him. Xiao Chun gently waved his hand, and the faux God flame that many dreamed of appeared. The pressure from Yin Zhe's holy venerate will gradually weaken. In the end, Xiao Chun actually repelled it. Xiao Chun gently opened his hand and did not hesitate to put away the peak grade spirit jades in his storage ring. How could Xiao Chun endure this? Senior Chai's expression changed slightly. However, before he could react, quickly stop him. Otherwise, no one will be able to stop him. Xiao Chun immediately felt immense pressure. This was the will of soul from a holy venerate. Compared to a star venerate's will of soul, Xiao Chun felt immense pressure. However, in the end, all of this ended up benefiting Xiao Chun. However, this holy venerate was nothing before Xiao Chun. Under normal circumstances, this holy venerate will alone would be enough to suppress Xiao Chun. Withdraw. Every time Xiao Chun withdrew it, he could hear the sound of his heart shattering. Xiao Chun only took a glance before putting this Qiongqi demonic pennant into his storage ring. Dang! The other holy venerates no longer dared to hold back. Immediately, this place started shaking intensely. The many holy venerates wished that they could swallow Xiao Chun alive. They thought about the soul tools here. Just thinking about the soul tools here, even if many holy venerates work together, they might not be able to break the restrictions. Yinja's boundless sword move was like the autumn wind sweeping away fallen leaves with his thrust, easily breaking. Several holy venerates were so frustrated that they lost their minds. They clenched their right fists and continuously pounded the stone pillars. However, at this moment, Xiao Chen's aura flourished. He held the war banner in his hand and charged forward ferociously. When the Scarlet Blood War banner opened the treasures on the stone pillars with the divine flame, there were no restrictions. Who knew? Xiao Chun gently leaped up and stomped on Yinja's head, continuing to fly towards the stone pillars with the divine flame. Whoosh! Xiao Chun did not rush to summon the faux god flame. Instead, he sized up the surroundings. In that instant, the demonic clouds in the sky churned like a tsunami. Only this flash of light existed in the boundlessly dark and vast space. Boom! Big Brother Yin, you are still unwilling to give up. They were not on the same level at all. However, right now, Xiao Chen's faux god, might was flourishing. His strength was no longer on par with his cultivation. This sword wind could destroy a city. Yinja thought about how much time and schemes Yinja had put in for the sake of this scarlet blood race inheritance. Xiao Chun held the war banner and leaped onto the stone pillars with the divine flame. Xiao Chun said coldly as he looked expressionlessly at Yinja, who had lost control of his emotions somewhat. Yinja was on a completely higher level. It was like a sage appearing, reigning supreme. Xiao Chun did not have time to take a closer look. He only sized it up before putting it in his storage ring. The sound of countless hearts shattering rang out. The eyes of the many older generation holy venerates and the top true inheritors of the various demonic Dao sects on the stone pillars and the surroundings nearly popped out. Kassier. About 10 layers of holy venerate wills surged over, putting immense pressure on Xiao Chun. Even the burning flame on his body was suppressed. Who could have imagined that an insignificant major primal core venerate would be able to stand before so many outstanding talents and older generation holy venerates? At this moment, the faux god flame was very close. The gargantuan hand covering the sky above dropped down a finger. In an instant, it knocked Senior Chai into the air and made him vomit blood. It slowly landed in Xiao Chen's hand. However, at this moment his eyes were calm. It was Senior Chai. He looked at Xiao Chun sinisterly and said, "Junior, you need to use this Scarlet Blood War banner to release the faux god might on you. Now, I am restraining your scarlet blood war banner. When the foe god might on you scatter, you will find it hard to escape death. The scarlet blood war banner moved like a hot knife through butter. Just as it was about to pierce Yenja's chest, a sword blocked it. If you want to reach the deity platform, you have to get past me first. To the many holy venerates fighting for the foe god flame, the warm light was like a flash of cold light. At this distance, they could already feel the foe god flame's temperature, its heaviness, and the vicissitudes of history. Damn it, to think that he really went up. That feeling was too unbearable. You are overthinking. The stone pillars were empty. However, there was a groove in the center. Now, Shao Chun easily collected 8 supreme treasures in front of them. When Yenja swung his sword, a cold light filled the air. Yenja's terrifying sword technique turned into a storm surging toward Shao Chun. These were originally powerful treasures that belonged to them. Now this white-clad brat collected them just like that. Withdraw. Shao Chun looked at the scarlet blood war banner in his hand. Then he walked over and inserted the end of the war banner into the groove perfectly. Break for me. Whoosh. Foe godmight. A skinny hand grabbed the flagpole like a pincer. Yenja roared hoarsely, and his aura surged out. A holy venerate will surged out of his forehead and pressed down on Shao Chun. Yenja's aura slowed, and Shao Chun's flame, which was about to extinguish, took this opportunity to burn fiercely. Damn it! Damn it! Shao Chun continued looking. The third item was an extremely strange medicinal pill with an overwhelming bestial nature. It did not look like it was meant for cultivators to consume. Bang! 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 Shao Chun twisted his wrist and gently swung the scarlet blood war banner, striking Yenja's face and sending him flying. With the support of the foe god might, Yenja swung the war banner, and the entire space surged like the tide. As Yenja advanced, the pillar of the divine flame became very close. Yenja swung the war banner, and the scarlet blood war banner became like a spear as it charged forward. Foe god might gathered at the tip of the banner as he gently thrust it forward. Great desolate Ian ferocious beast Qiongqi. This was once one of the 10 great ghost pennants of the demonic Tao, the Qiongqi demonic pennant. To think that it is in the hands of the Scarlet Blood Pirate King. Shao Chun swung the Scarlet Blood War banner in his hand and ferociously thrust it forward. Kassier. Yenja drew his sword, and a cold light shone. Then, he leaped up and stood in front of Shao Chun, blocking him. As long as Shao Chun waved his hand, he could reach out and grab it. Shao Chun recognized it with one glance. This was a powerful treasure known as a subdivine crystal. Its significance already surpassed that of spirit jades. Qiongqi wanted to stop Shao Chun from climbing the pillar of the divine flame. Damn it, that is the supreme treasure of my demonic Tao sect. Chapter 1825. Shao Chun held the foe god flame in his palm. He was only one step away from the scarlet blood inheritance. He did not even need to be one step away. With a thought, Shao Chun could refine and absorb this foe god flame. He would obtain the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's valuable experience, the various mysterious sea maps, the treasures of the Forbidden Sea, and the various secrets of the 100,000 Great Peaks. When looking around, all the Tao tools and soul tools on the stone pillar were not worth mentioning compared to this foe god flame. They were not even a drop in the bucket, completely incomparable. Damn it, why? When Yenja saw this scene, he showed a dispirited expression. His eyes turned unfocused like a walking corpse. Yenja had planned this for a long time, putting in a lot of effort and time, making all sorts of calculations from start to finish. However, in the end, it was all for naught. The ending was too cruel. Yenja, who harbored great expectations, could not take the blow. It was not just Yenja. Although the other older generation holy venerates were not as exaggerated as Yenja, they showed helplessness on their faces and deep jealousy in their eyes. Even if a holy venerate obtained the inheritance, they would accept their defeat wholeheartedly. However, right now, it was Shao Chun, an ant that they could casually squish to death earlier, who climbed the divine flame pillar and controlled the faux god flame. It looked like Xiao Chen was about to receive the inheritance and soar into the sky, becoming resplendent and dazzling. Anyone would find it hard to accept that a junior was stepping on them to rise to prominence. While Xiao Chen was on the divine flame pillar, preparing to absorb the faux god flame and receive the inheritance, something strange happened. The faux god flame created a barrier, preventing Xiao Chen from absorbing it. At the same time, a thought entered Xiao Chen's mind. The thought first sighed, then turned into a sentence. What a pity. You are very suitable to receive my inheritance in all aspects. Unfortunately, you are only missing one thing, and that is the thing that I care about the most. Is that so? Xiao Chen was stunned for a moment before saying, I understand. However, Senior, please give me a chance. There is someone in my heart who can receive this scarlet blood inheritance. Good. No matter how you look at it, you are very similar to me. I believe in you for being able to reach this step. However, you cannot receive the inheritance. Your faux god might will not last for long. I hope you can get out of here alive. After the voice projection ended, the faux god flame turned into a mark on Xiao Chen's palm. The flames on his body slowly extinguished, and the demonic clouds in the sky receded like a receding tide. Hua! The faux god might vanish from Xiao Chen's body. All the Dao tools and soul tools on the stone pillars flashed with lights and returned to the stone pillars. Only the spirit stones were still piled up on top of it as a consolation. What's going on? Everything had happened too suddenly, surprising everyone. All of the inherited Dao tools and soul tools had vanished. Those who thought that even if they could not obtain the faux god flame, they would still be able to subdue a soul tool. This was a worthwhile trip for the Holy Venerate. He was shocked. This was a complete loss with nothing to gain. The white-robed mad demon accepted the inheritance. Yes, but no. The faux god flame is indeed gone. However, there are no changes to his body. The might of the faux god realm disappeared. Strange. How unlucky. To think that even the soul tools disappeared. This trip is a complete loss. Ha 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 ha. Just at this moment, someone suddenly laughed maniacally. It was the Iron Horn Pirate Group's Yinja. Yinja laughed like he had gone mad. Everyone looked at him strangely, not understanding what was going on. However, Yinja continued laughing. He pointed at Xiao Chen and said, Ha ha! This fellow cannot accept the inheritance. He only put away the faux god flame. Look, he does not have dragon might or faux god might on him now. He is so weak that we can ignore him. The others' expressions changed drastically. They all sent their mental energy to Xiao Chen and revealed smiles. Huh, that's true. He did not accept the inheritance. His will of soul did not change at all. Kill him, kill him. Upon seeing such a change and the faux god flame no longer on the stone pillar, the originally dispirited holy venerates immediately became spirited. As they looked at Xiao Chen, they were like hungry wolves seeing a sheep. Right now, Xiao Chen had many valuable treasures on him. He was definitely a fat sheep. Suddenly, the situation changed once again. Yinja, who was like a walking corpse, immediately came to life. His eyes shone brightly like a wild beast's. Whoosh! Yinja took the lead and charged at Xiao Chen, wanting to capture Xiao Chen first to vent the hatred in his heart. On the stone pillar with the divine flame, Xiao Chen's expression remained calm. He did not feel discouraged by losing the inheritance at all. Before climbing the stone pillar with the divine flame, Xiao Chen had proven his Dao heart. In his opinion, that was something even more precious than the inheritance. Of course, it would be for the best if he could continue obtaining the inheritance. However, if he could not, it did not matter. Proving his Dao heart and walking out of the demonic heart were more valuable than anything else. You're really my good big brother. As Xiao Chen looked at Yinja, who took the lead and rushed to the front, a mocking smile appeared on his face. Xiao Chen grasped the Scarlet Blood War banner with both hands. With a thought, a black and white Taiji diagram appeared around him. Mottled light flickered in the surroundings. All sorts of mysterious phenomena appeared continuously. The Taiji diagram spun continuously. The vast demonic chi, veritable essence energy, and spiritual energy, veritable essence energy, in Shao Qin's 9-star primal core circulated wildly. Shao Qin's aura soared endlessly. He's going to break through. As Shao Qin's long hair fluttered and his aura soared infinitely, those with discerning eyes immediately saw some clues. That was right. After absorbing the demonic chi accumulated on Blood Spirit Island for 1,000 years, Shao Qin could break through at any time. Shao Qin's cultivation had already accumulated to a terrifying level in the major primal core realm. His foundation was terrifyingly firm. Once Shao Qin broke through, he would completely erupt. Boom! In that instant, Shao Qin's aura soared several-fold, instantly breaking through the shackles of major primal core venerates. He became a Cloud Sea Star Venerate. However, Shao Qin's aura continued to soar, directly advancing to peak early stage Star Venerate. However, Shao Qin's aura was much stronger than those late-stage Star Venerate true inheritors. Scram! When Shao Qin's aura reached its peak, he ferociously swung the Scarlet Blood War Banner. Boom! Boom! Before Shao Qin waved the war banner, he infused it with an irresistible veritable essence energy that was like seawater. Shao Qin, who had not expected such a result, was ruthlessly knocked back by Shao Qin again, causing him to vomit blood. Ha ha ha! So what if you broke through? There are so many holy venerates here. In the end, you will not be able to escape death. Shao Qin, you will not be able to escape death. Although Shao Qin forcefully knocked Yinzhi away, Yinzhi laughed endlessly as he looked at Shao Qin like he had gone crazy. Yinzhi was right. The difference in cultivation was obvious. Even if Shao Qin could bring out 120% of his strength, he would only be able to block one holy venerate. However, there were 10 holy venerates here. Aside from Yinzhi, who had a weak foundation, the other holy venerates were either demonic Dao sect elders or 7-star pirate group captains. No matter how one looked at it, Shao Qin could not succeed in breaking through. Where there is a will, there is a way. There is no need for you to care about my life or death. Thank you for your curse. However, Shao Qin saw through everything. His body trembled, and he suddenly turned into a 3-kilometer-tall giant. Shao Qin instantly executed Dermic World. Using the undefeatable aura of his Dermic World, Shao Qin swung the war banner. A huge force directly swept away the many holy venerates that were trying to surround him. Shao Qin raised his leg and leaped over 100 stone pillars. Then, he charged out of the encirclement of the holy venerates and rushed forward. After him, the holy venerates that got knocked away did not suffer much damage. They knew that this was a secret technique that Shao Qin used and could not last for long. These holy venerates used their holy venerate wills to resist the omnipresent foe god, might, in the sky. Then, they moved quickly, chasing after Shao Qin. As the holy venerates gave chase, they executed all sorts of attacks without holding back. Naturally, the means of a holy venerate were extremely horrifying. Even though Shao Qin turned into a Dermic world giant, he still found it hard to avoid injury. Pussy-eye. When Shao Qin's body reverted to its original form, he vomited a mouthful of blood and fell to one knee. Shao Qin's complexion paled slightly. This was somewhat taxing. Holy venerates were scarier than Shao Qin imagined. If there were only 2 or 3 holy venerates, it would be very easy to escape. However, there were simply too many holy venerates behind. There were also some strong top true inheritors that were not to be trifled with. Brat, let's see what other means you have. When the people chasing saw Shao Qin fall to the ground in a somewhat sorry state, they all laughed loudly, feeling much more confident. Capture him. We must cut him into 1,000 pieces, extract his soul, and torture him ruthlessly. After killing so many people from our 3 great demonic Dao sects, we cannot let him die so easily. Ha 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 ha. To think that you would have such a day like this. I can only say that you are unlucky, unable to receive such great luck. When the many holy venerates saw Shao Qin fall into dire straits, All of them felt extremely delighted. This was especially so for Yinja. He felt his entire body rejuvenated. Seeing Shao Chun in such a sorry state was even more delightful than obtaining the faux god flame himself. Relying on this sickly willpower, Yinja charged to the very front once more. "Who dares to injure my big brother?" Just at this moment, a loud shout suddenly rang out. This voice was like divine thunder from the 9 heavens, shaking all the gods and Buddhas in the sky. The tens of thousands of stone pillars in this vast space trembled intensely when this shout rang out. Even the might of the faux god realm trembled, surging like waves. The many holy venerates in hot pursuit immediately stopped in their tracks, forcibly stopped by this shout. When they looked up, there was a piercing silver light in the distance. It was so resplendent and dazzling that no one dared to look directly at it. That was Dao Might, the pure saber Dao's Dao Might. It was much stronger than the Dao Might on Shao Chen's body. Amid the silver light, that person ferociously pointed his saber forward. A boundless saber move turned into a strong wind that filled the air, instantly surging over. It was like an army of thousands of horses, or like a huge wave in the ocean, surging over. However, with a flash of silver light, that person spread his arms and flew over like a Kuan Pong. In the blink of an eye, that person arrived at the very front of this saber move. His body was like the sharpest saber in the world. He sliced through the faux god might in the air like it was a piece of cloth, instantly arriving, acting all mysterious. No one can save him today. Yinja, who had already charged to the very front, snorted coldly. He did not stop moving, continuing to fly towards the stone pillar where Shao Chun was. "You are seeking death." A silver light flashed, and that terrifying saber move vanished together with the silver light. When the silver light reappeared, that person appeared above Yinja's head. The saber move that filled the air suddenly erupted. The saber light landed, and Yinja was instantly chopped in half. His head separated from his body, no longer showing any signs of life. Dang! After the saber cut Yinja's body, it landed on the surface of the stone pillar. The stone pillar's surface cracked into pieces, and cracks appeared. As Shao Chun looked at that person, his eyes filled with heavy surprise. He nearly could not help cursing. He simply could not believe what he saw. Chapter 1826. The person who had just arrived was dressed in monk robes. He had thick eyebrows, large eyes, and an eye-catching bald head. Who else could it be but the little monk Yin Shun? Shao Chun had always heard the little monk say that he was an expert, a very powerful expert. A middle stage star venerate did not interest him at all. Even his own saber skills were only a little interesting in his eyes, and he still needed his guidance. He didn't believe it. He didn't believe it at all. However, the earlier scene flabbergasted everyone. Yinja, who had just advanced to Holy Venerate, could not even catch a single saber strike from Shao Chun. Even though Yinja had already suffered a series of blows from Lin Fan previously and had sustained injuries that were neither heavy nor light. However, no matter what, he was still a Holy Venerate. Silver light flickered. Just like that, he was cleaved into 2 halves, his life force gone and his soul scattered. The 3 great devil sect elders, the 3 great pirate captains, the many rogue cultivators, and the chief true disciples of the devil sect were all frightened. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. Was he still a monk? He had delicate features, but how could he be so ruthless and heartless? He did not have the slightest scruple of the Buddhist precepts. He killed as soon as he said he would, not showing any mercy at all. He was not afraid of violating the precept of killing. Little monk, you are an eminent monk of the Buddhist sect. How can you collude with this white-clothed mad demon? He is a great villain who has fallen into the demonic path. The Fantasy Cloud sect's Elder Gao said shamelessly. He seemed to have forgotten that he himself was a great demon. The refinement of the Fantasy Cloud sect's ghost penance was utterly devoid of conscience and inhumane. But now, with righteous words, he was pointing at Shao Chun and calling him a demon. It had to be said that the little monk, Yin Shin's strength truly frightened them to the point that they even used such an excuse. Yin Shin could not be bothered to say anything more. He pointed with his saber and said sullenly, "I don't care about so much. I'll kill whoever kills my big brother. It's not up to you people to tell me who the saber in my hand will be with." His words had completely blocked the path of peace talks. "Humph! Do you really think you can kill all of us by yourself?" Yinju was just careless. Everyone attack together and kill this bald donkey. Even though the strength that the little monk displayed was frightening, Xiao Chun simply had too many precious treasures on him. Be it the faux god flame or the 8 divine platform treasures, they were worth risking their lives for the little monk. Moreover, they had the advantage of numbers, so they would always have a mental advantage. Yinshin smiled faintly. His smile was like that of a Buddha, appearing benevolent and benevolent, like the reincarnation of a living Buddha. Every action and every expression contained a supreme Buddhist intent. The dense Buddhist might turned into a pure silver light that shone in all directions. This light is really special. It's rare to hear that the Buddha's might can emit a silver light. Xiao Chun took the opportunity to get up. When he saw this scene, he was secretly surprised. There seemed to be some records of the silver Buddhist light in the incomplete memories of the underground dragon city's faux god flame. Unfortunately, this was not the time to reminisce. Taking advantage of the little monk's appearance, Xiao Chun sat down cross-legged and quickly healed his injuries, recovering his strength. Kacha! However, just as he sat down cross-legged, he heard a blood-curdling scream. A silver light flashed, and the Buddhist might and horrifying saber intent on the little monk vanished without a trace. When Yin Shun reappeared in the next moment, he landed before a top true inheritor. That top true inheritor was the fantasy cloud sex Long Tingyu. Yin Shin's cultivation was similar to Long Tingyu's, similar to his. However, when Yin Shun faced Long Tingyu, he broke the ghost pennant in his hand with just one move. The saber intent did not stop there. That silver monk's saber continued descending, directly blasting Long Tingyu's physical body into a pool of blood. Not even a corpse remained. Whoosh! After killing one person, Yinshin landed on a stone pillar. Then, he looked at the holy venerates with stunned expressions and smiled faintly. "It will be difficult for you all to catch me." Right after Yinshin spoke, he spread his arms again. Then, he moved like an eagle, and a silver light flashed as he instantly streaked across the sky. The group of people charging at Yinshin missed. Their expressions changed drastically as they quickly looked in another direction. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It was like a game of hide-and-seek. After repeating this a few times, the many holy venerates could not surround Yin Shun. "I'm coming." Yin Shun laughed loudly and suddenly appeared before the somewhat fatigued top true inheritor of the Blood Demon Royal Hall. Without even thinking, he swung his saber. This saber strike gave off a resplendent silver light. The little monk revealed a strange smile. It was like he had lived in a mortal realm for hundreds or even thousands of years. He had seen all sorts of life, seen all sorts of prosperity, only loneliness and vicissitudes remained. Yin Shin's saber light immediately turned incredibly heavy. It was like he had traveled through time and space, experiencing the baptism of thousands of years. Bang! The top true inheritor of the Blood Demon Royal Hall, who met this saber strike, immediately turned to ashes, turning into dust. Mahamaya abstinence, violation, saber technique. A bright light flashed in Xiao Chen's eyes. He immediately recognized the saber technique that the little monk used. It was the Mahamaya abstinence, violation saber technique, which was forbidden by the Buddhist sections. It should be an incomplete manual. Like Xiao Chun, the little monk practiced only a few moves. However, no matter how strong the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique was, it could not be compared to an ordinary killing move. With the little monk's strength, Xiao Chun had no choice but to admit that there were indeed people in this world who could bring out their strength many times over. Regular cultivators who could bring out 80% of their combat prowess would be considered pretty good. If one could bring out 100%, one could be called a genius. If one could bring out 120%, one could be called a demonic genius. People like Xiao Chun, who could bring out 150% of their peak state, could be counted on one's fingers. They were as rare as phoenix feathers and Qilin horns. As for people like the little monk, one could only look for them in ancient records. To think that a late-stage star venerate cultivator could easily deal with 9 holy venerates surrounding him, killing 3 with a wave of his hand. This simply did not make sense. Good timing. Just at this moment, a cold snort rang out. The little monk's figure flickered again, and he appeared before the strongest holy venerate, Senior Chai. Senior Chai did not show any fear. He gently threw a palm strike with his skinny, bone-like hand. Rumble! The sky shook, and the ground shook. The nearby stone pillars trembled. This old fellow had lived for who knew how long. As Senior Chai waved his hand, the force he drove was incredibly horrifying. Bang! The little monk vomited a mouthful of blood and went flying back. This was the first time everyone saw him in such a sorry state. Ha ha ha! Senior Chai is incredible. With Senior Chai around, there's nothing to worry about. After seeing Senior Chai's strong strength, the other holy venerate's confidence soared. You are a person who is about to die. Let's see how many more times you can send out such strong energy. Yin Chen wiped off the blood at the corner of his lips. However, he was not convinced at all. A silver light flashed, and he sent out another saber strike. Everyone was somewhat shocked to discover that before Yin Chen's strange movement technique, it was simply impossible to surround and attack him. They could only watch as Yin Chen fought with Senior Chai alone. Yin Chen received each move more effortlessly than the one before. It was clear that Senior Chai was growing increasingly weaker. His lethargy grew heavier. He was too old. If it were 10 years ago, Senior Chai might not care about Yin Chen at all. However, now, Yin Chen's lifespan was approaching its end. Under such a head-on clash, Senior Chai felt his lifespan dwindle pitifully. His lifespan dwindled rapidly, like a lamp running out of oil at any moment. In the mortal realm, an ancient smile appeared on the little monk Yin Chen's face again. The silver saber light that the Buddhist monk's saber gave off instantly turned heavy. All sorts of mysterious phenomena of the mortal realm appeared continuously, layering over each other. With each layer, it looked like a growth ring was carved on the silver saber light. Boom! After Senior Chai's frail body received this saber strike, his lifespan drained. He was like a lamp running out of oil. His body withered like an old tree, falling into the deep abyss like a lead stone. I remember now. Just at this moment, the expression of a demonic Tao sect elder changed dramatically. The finger he pointed at the little monk could not stop trembling. The little monk's eyes filled with horror. At first, he was stunned. Then, he turned somewhat flustered. The Buddhist sect's silver saber, the heavenly eagle demonic monk. Kassier. Right after the little monk spoke, Yin Chen's berserk saber strike struck him, severely injuring him on the spot. As Yin Chen held the Buddhist monk's saber, he could not help feeling regret. Damn it, I was still too late. Quickly leave. Quickly leave. He is the little demonic monk silver saber. He has an innate body of misfortune and holds the Buddhist sect's Buddhist monk saber. He is not restrained by the abstinence from killing and is the nemesis of the demonic Tao sections. Even if he commits overwhelming sins, he can become a Buddha immediately. After the other holy venerates recognized the little monk Yin Chen, they stopped pestering him and scattered. The little demonic monk's silver saber? When Xiao Chun, who was recuperating, heard this title, he held back a smile. A corner of his lips twitched involuntarily. This title was indeed tyrannical. No wonder the little monk immediately jumped to it every time the title was mentioned. Chapter 1827. After recognizing the little monk Yin Chen's origins, those demonic Tao sect elders did not think anything else and immediately scattered. It looked like they steeled their hearts and did not want to fight with this person. Given the little monk's movement technique and his horrifying saber Tao cultivation, they could not surround him. The holy venerate will, the only thing that could win, was mostly neutralized by the little monk's Buddhist might. It felt like they could not attack. Not only did numbers not have a positive effect, but they even hindered each other, resulting in a negative effect. Right now, these demonic Tao sect elders already gave up on the idea of monopolizing the treasures on Shao Chun. They only hoped that their sovereign personages would arrive. Only with the overwhelming strength of a sovereign personage could they easily suppress this little monk. It turns out that there is no one who can fight. Yin Shen's lips curled up as he revealed a smile. Then, he turned around and leaped toward Shao Chun. Furthermore, Yin Shen had delicate features and wore monk robes. His charming eyes had not matured yet, making him look young. Such a little monk was known as the little demonic monk Silver Saber. Ha ha! Big brother Shao, I told you before. I came as an expert. A monk does not lie. Yin Shen held his Buddhist monk's saber and leaped over many stone pillars. The remnant Buddhist might from his body had yet to scatter as he landed heavily. Shao Chun smiled bitterly, not knowing how to answer. Boom! Suddenly, something strange happened. The moment the little monk landed, the stone pillar under him crumbled, sending him plummeting into the deep abyss. Big brother, save me. All this happened in an instant. Shao Chun and Yin Shen could not react in time. Anyone, including a holy venerate, would die without a doubt once they fell. The gravity of the deep abyss was not something that ordinary people could endure. Then, Shao Chun thought about the many experts who fell and died without exception. His expression changed dramatically. He quickly leaped up and went to the edge to take a look. Shao Chun saw the little monk grabbing the hole in the stone pillar with one hand. Occasionally, shattered rocks fell by his side, but there was no sound for a long time. The little monk tried to exert force several times to leap up. However, it felt like there were many mountains on his back. He could not get up at all. Seeing Shao Chun stretch out his head, the little monk said hurriedly, "Quick, quick, quick! Give me a hand. I can't hold on for much longer. This place is too strange. After the stone pillar fell, I can't use my strength at all." In the darkness, the little monk's bald head was particularly eye-catching. Just a minute later, the little monk was already in such a sorry state. It was indeed true that he was born with the body of misfortune. Shao Chun laughed involuntarily. He stretched out his hand and said, "Come on up. He's here." Damn, who knew that when the little monk stretched out his hand, Shao Chun would feel a huge suction force. It was so fast that he couldn't react at all. His entire body was pulled down by Yin Chun. Boom! In the time it took for a spark to fly off a flint, Shao Chun reached out and grabbed the gap in the stone pillar. His other hand was firmly grasped by the little monk. He felt as if his entire arm was about to be torn apart by the suction force of the little monk. Shao Chun finally understood what Yin Shen had just said. After falling off the stone pillar, Zhang Xian found himself in a completely different world. Under the pull of gravity, he could not bring out his strength at all. He could not even circulate his veritable essence energy normally. He could only rely on his vital qi to hold on bitterly. Normally, if Shao Chun were alone, he would be able to get up by circulating all his vital qi. However, now that he had to drag the little monk, he felt somewhat powerless. "Big brother, don't ever let go," the little monk said with a bitter expression as he grabbed Shao Chun's arm. Shao Chun wanted to get angry. However, when he looked at the little monk's face and thought about the title that scared everyone away, he got so angry that he laughed. "If I have to die, so be it. In any case, if the little monk did not come, I would not be able to escape death." However, Shao Chun clearly could have escaped already. If he did this again, he would feel dissatisfied. No wonder those people wanted to run. Who would not be afraid of such misfortune? Not only would their opponents be afraid, but even their friends would be afraid. "Don't worry. I won't let go. I'll just hang on like this. When I run out of strength, we could just fall down together." Shao Chun smiled helplessly. Feeling depressed, Yin Shen said, "Why am I so unlucky? Even holy venerates have to retreat when they see me." "Why?" Shao Chun smiled and said, "Stop complaining. Think of a way." Complaining was never the way to solve problems. Faced with adversity, Xiao Chun was startled for a moment. Then, he calmly thought of all sorts of ways to escape. Xiao Chun continuously analyzed the situation before him, trying to figure out how it happened. Even when Xiao Chun leaped from stone pillar to pillar, he did not feel such a terrifying gravity. Why did it feel like he was in a completely different world when he landed on the stone pillar? After thinking about it, there was only one possibility. The many stone pillars in the vast space might have formed an invisible barrier. The height of the stone pillar was the threshold. Once one jumped over the stone pillar, they would no longer be affected by the barrier. Aside from the pressure of the faux god might, one would also be affected by the gravity of this place. Big brother, I feel that this might not be gravity. It is heart force. I once heard Master say that before the Kasyapa Buddha became a Buddha, he cultivated heart force. Heart force is boundlessly ethereal, extremely profound. Ordinary people cannot comprehend it. Xiao Chun felt doubtful as he asked, heart force? Actually, Xiao Chun had already noticed it long ago. No matter how horrifying a normal gravity was, it would not affect a person's veritable essence energy. It would not be to the extent where one's abilities could not be brought out. Furthermore, this place happened to be the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's heart. It was possible that it was heart force. However, what exactly was heart force? Xiao Chun had never heard of it before. Is there a way to break it? No. The little monk answered straightforwardly. Xiao Chun was speechless. After speaking for so long, it turned out that it was all nonsense. This won't do. My arm is about to break. The suction from the little monk is getting stronger. If I persist, my arm will be torn off sooner or later. At that time, although I can save myself by severing my arm, the little monk will definitely die. Given Xiao Chen's physical body, cultivation, and resources, reattaching an arm would not be a big deal. Severing an arm to save himself was indeed a pretty good way to escape. Big brother, I think I should let go. It's better for one to die than for both of us to die. The little monk could feel the state of Xiao Chen's body. At this moment, he was more open to it. However, he felt somewhat guilty. In the end, it was the little monk who implicated Big Brother Xiao. There's no need. Xiao Chen directly let go, and the little monk let out a startled cry. Then, the two of them plummeted. They were like shot put. A strong wind blew as they fell faster and faster. Those who fell to their deaths did so because their physical bodies were not strong enough. They directly smashed into meat paste. With his physical body, perhaps he could give it a try and take a gamble. All the bones in Xiao Chen's body had already become inferior gray dragon bones. His meridians had already turned into dragon tendons. In a situation where Xiao Chun could not circulate his veritable essence energy, his vital qi could surge through his dragon tendons. Xiao Chun immediately brought out his divine dragon war body, and a heavy dragon might spread out on his physical body. It formed an invisible divine dragon artifact armor that protected his body. After spinning around twice, Xiao Chun accelerated his descent. Then, he placed the little monk on his back. The sound of the wind grew louder by his ears. The wind was already like a knife, cutting his body, causing him to grimace in pain. Unfortunately, even moving his mouth was very difficult now. Bang! After some time, Xiao Chun landed on the ground. The huge rebound flung the little monk away. Pussy-eye! Blood leaked out of a corner of Xiao Chen's lips. His internal organs shattered on the spot. A mouthful of blood containing some of his shattered liver fell to the ground. Cracks appeared all over Xiao Chen's body, spreading continuously in his bones. Just as the cracks were about to multiply, the bones all over Zhang Xian's body came to a stop, just a hair's breadth away from crumbling. The cracks stopped spreading. That's good. Xiao Chun heaved a long sigh of relief. He had already landed. His bones had not shattered. This was truly a blessing in the misfortune. As long as Xiao Chun rested for a while, the self-healing ability of the blue dragon bloodline in his bone marrow would take effect. The self-healing ability of the dragon race bloodline would allow him to recover very quickly. Even if his internal organs were shattered and his mind was shaken, recovering was just a matter of time. Ha ha ha! Big brother, I'm fine. To think that I'm completely fine. Only my chest feels a little stuffy. I'm completely fine." Before Xiao Chun could say anything, he saw the little monk Yin Chun rush overexcitedly after escaping death. Xiao Chun immediately paled in fright. He hurriedly said, Don't, don't, don't come near me." "Pa!" However, before Xiao Chun finished speaking, the incredibly excited little monk placed his hand heavily on Xiao Chen's shoulder. Crack! Crack! Xiao Chen's bones, which were originally on the verge of shattering, shattered with the little monk's strike. All the bones in Xiao Chen's body shattered, and his dragon bones were damaged. Xiao Chun vomited a mouthful of blood and fainted from the pain, losing consciousness. Before Xiao Chun blacked out, he thought of only one sentence: "I'm so unlucky." Unlucky can really kill. Chapter 1828. When Xiao Chun opened his eyes again, 4 hours had already passed. "Big brother, you're finally awake." When Yin Chun saw Xiao Chun open his eyes weakly, he revealed a joyful smile. He said, "You have no idea how dangerous it was earlier. The sovereign personages of the 3 great demonic Dao sects are all here. Fortunately, they did not sense our presence." This made sense. Many holy venerates chose to leave because their sect's sovereign personages were about to charge over. Xiao Chun smiled bitterly and said, "It looks like I have to thank you. Otherwise, we would not have been able to survive in the hands of a sovereign personage." Yin Chun smiled awkwardly and said, "There's no need to thank me. The merits and demerits offset each other. Big brother Xiao, don't blame me for patting your shoulder earlier. Don't mention it, or I'll beat you up." Hiss! Xiao Chun was just about to move his body, but he didn't expect that he would move his whole body. He was in so much pain that he sucked in a deep breath. His bones were all broken, and he couldn't move at all. Now he was lying on the stone pillar. He could only open his eyes and close his mouth to speak. Yin Chun hurriedly said, "Big brother, be careful. I just took a look. Your injuries are rather severe. Your bones seem to have been refined into dragon bones, making it harder for them to recover than ordinary people." What was more serious was that his 5 viscera and 6 bowels were shattered, and his blood and qi were weak. If not for his brother's extraordinary physique, he would have died long ago. Speaking of which, why am I completely fine? Really? Yin Chun rambled on endlessly. However, he did not notice that when he looked up, he happened to meet Xiao Chen's murderous gaze. He quickly smiled apologetically and said, "It's my fault. It's my fault. If I don't blame you, who should I blame? If it weren't for your slap, the dragon bone wouldn't have been damaged. After a while, he would be able to recover. After recovery, the blue dragon bloodline could be produced in his bone marrow, and his internal organs would slowly recover. Everything was not a big problem, and he still had the cheek to say that he was fine? If I didn't carry you on my back, how could I be fine?" Xiao Chun had never been so unlucky before. He was so injured that he couldn't even move. He couldn't even take out the healing pills from his storage ring. If this continued, his injuries would continue to worsen, forming a vicious cycle. He might really have to give up his life here. When it came to life and death, Xiao Chun had always been very open-minded. Anyone would find it hard to accept such an outcome. It could only be said that life and death were up to fate, and riches and honor were up to the heavens. Xiao Chun sighed softly, expelling all the grievances in his heart. "Big brother, why are you sighing?" Yin Chun asked, finding it strange. He still could not make out Xiao Chun's current state. Xiao Chun leaned against the stone pillar and smiled casually. "Let's not talk about this. Speaking of which, why did you come back? Didn't I chase you away back then?" Yin Chun scratched his head and said, "At that time, I felt that something was off. I felt that Big Brother's tone was somewhat off. When I returned, I happened to hear your conversation with that person. Only then did I realize that you let me go on purpose." "I see." Xiao Chun suddenly understood. That was good too. He didn't have to explain himself. Yinzhi was too difficult to deal with. With the little monk's intelligence, he might be tricked into becoming Yinzhi's fighter. However, it was hard to say if Yinzhi could bear the little monk's luck. Thinking about himself, Xiao Chun felt helpless. The two chatted casually. Trapped in this place, they could not do anything else. As they chatted, Xiao Chun understood many things. Why did the inheritance demonic mirror take the initiative to fly to the little monk back then. It was because the little monk had many sins on him. The number of people he had killed was even greater than Xiao Qian's. That was why the demonic mirror took the initiative to fly to the little monk's hand. Normally speaking, those with such horrifying sins were either major figures of the demonic Tao or ferocious demonic beasts. Yet, the little monk lived like that without a care in the world. This was truly an anomaly. The little monk was indeed very strong. However, the price for his extraordinary strength was enormous. Bad luck accompanied him for life. It was as his master had said. The little monk was born with great luck. Or rather, it could be said that he used up all the good luck in his life. The senior and junior brothers in the temple all knew about the little monk's matters. They were definitely unwilling to interact with him. Wherever he went, he would get into trouble for no reason, inevitably blaming himself. If it were an ordinary person like the little monk, they would definitely be extremely reclusive. It would be easy for them to become extreme existences and end up in tragedy. Fortunately, the little monk had a very good master. His master kept smiling and telling Xiao Qian that he was the Buddhist sex fortune. Furthermore, his mental state was rather open and optimistic, allowing him to live until now without a care in the world. After chatting for a long time, a medicinal pill appeared in Xiao Qian's palm with a thought. Then, he got the little monk to feed it to him. Without a high-grade medicinal pill, the injuries on his body would not be able to heal at all. Xiao Qian could only barely alleviate some of the pain. The crucial thing was how to heal the dragon bones. Only then could he treat the root of the problem. Otherwise, he would never recover. "All right, I have something for you." Xiao Qian recalled that among the 8 supreme treasures, there was a soul tool, a kasaya. The little monk received it joyfully. Then, he exclaimed in shock, "This is a soul tool. However, I can't use it. My cultivation is not high enough to wear a kasaya." "Can't use it? That's good. I can save some money. After all, it is a soul tool. If I exchange it, I can obtain many things." "Hee. However, my master can use it." "Thank you, big brother Xiao." The little monk quickly put away the kasaya, not standing on ceremony. Xiao Qian smiled embarrassedly and said, "That's fine. Let me ask you one more thing. Was the saber technique you used earlier the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique?" "That's right. Big brother Xiao, how did you know?" "Indeed, the one in the little monk's hand should be an incomplete one. However, if Xiao Qian exchanged it with the little monk, he wondered if he would violate the Buddhist sex rules. Truth be told, I also have an incomplete manual and practice 3 of the moves." Xiao Qian answered honestly. When the little monk heard that, he rejoiced. Indeed, the heavenly book scholar said that I would definitely run into a great fortuitous encounter in this ash-gray sea's myriad star mountain. It turns out that it was true. "Big brother Xiao, are you willing to exchange the incomplete manual with me?" Xiao Qian was still feeling awkward, wondering how he should bring it up. Who knew? The little monk did not mind at all. "Speaking of which, aren't you violating the Buddhist sex rules by being so direct?" The little monk smiled and said, "I've broken too many precepts. I can't be bothered to count. Now that I think about it, aside from lust, I've broken almost all of them." Xiao Qian said softly, "That's good. I have the same thought as well. However, we will discuss this after I recover from my injuries." At the mention of his injuries, Xiao Qian could not help feeling helpless. All the bones in his body were shattered. He could not move at all, like he was paralyzed. The little monk was right. If not for Xiao Qian's extraordinary physique, he would already be a dead man. Xiao Qian could not think of a good way to recover at the moment. If he were outside, he could seek treatment from a famous doctor. With corresponding medicinal pills, he would be able to recover after lying in bed for half a year or even a year. However, he clearly did not have such conditions here. Actually, Xiao Qian should rejoice. Even holy venerates died when they fell. He was already very fortunate to be alive. "You are really stupid. This is the best place to treat your injuries. What are you thinking about?" Just at this moment, a voice suddenly rang out in Xiao Qian's mind, making him feel joy. "The blood-soaked Dragon Emperor. You are finally willing to show yourself. Xiao Chun had said long ago that the next time they met would be the day he broke through to Star Venerate. After breaking through to Star Venerate for so long, Xiao Chun had nearly died several times. I also want to show myself. However, do you think that I will not exhaust your life force if I show myself? I am a remnant soul attached to you, relying on you to exist. In your current state, I really do not dare to casually appear. In the past, you were at your peak. Exhausting a little is nothing. Now, if I casually exhaust a little, you might fall on the spot. Xiao Chen had not thought of this. He said softly, "Let's get back to business. Why is this place the best place to treat injuries?" Huh, this place is filled with heart force. To think that you managed to find this place with the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's physical body. This is really surprising. Heart force. It's heart force again. I'll teach you a method to use the heart force of this place to stimulate the damaged dragon bones in your body. When your physical body recovers, I'll explain to you what heart force is. Chapter 1829. Xiao Chen opened his eyes and glanced at Yin Shun, who was beside him. "Little monk, go take a look around. There might be some fortuitous encounters in this place." Fortuitous encounter? That makes sense. This place is filled with heart force. Perhaps we can find the secret to comprehending heart force. Yin Shun thought for a while and nodded. Then, he said, "In any case, there's nothing else. Even if there is no fortuitous encounter, it is good to see if there is an exit. In that case, big brother, stay here first." After Yin Shun went far away, the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor's playful laughter rang out in Xiao Chen's heart. Must I wait for this monk to go far away before I can start? The blood-soaked Dragon Emperor disdained the so-called body of misfortune. However, Xiao Chun could not be more cautious. Unable to explain too much, Xiao Chun changed the topic. "Let's begin. You can tell me the method now." After a while, a profound incantation appeared in Xiao Chen's mind. This was the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor telling him how to use the heart force in this place to treat his injuries. The incantation looked incredibly profound. However, after comprehending it, Xiao Chun discovered that the principle was incredibly simple. It was like absorbing the spiritual energy of the world. However, spiritual energy needed to be absorbed by the dantian into the body. The absorption of heart force depended on the heart. While it sounded very profound, the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor used an extremely simple method. This was because his method was not truly absorbing heart force. It was just absorbing heart force into the body to treat Xiao Chen's injuries. It was not truly possessing and controlling heart force. Xiao Chen's current cultivation and comprehension ability were far from sufficient to grasp heart force. Even if it were sufficient, it was not something that could be comprehended in a short time. By the time Xiao Chun comprehended it, his injuries would have already worsened, and he would no longer show any signs of life. Hence, the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor's method was very special and ingenious. Following the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor's instructions, Xiao Chun continuously emptied his mind. As Xiao Chun recited the incantation, his thoughts drifted. The soul in his soul pool swayed like a candle flame on the verge of being extinguished at any moment. Slowly, Xiao Chun entered a wondrous state. He was on the verge of sleep, but did not have any thoughts. His consciousness drifted like a dead person. However, he could truly feel his thoughts. Xiao! Suddenly, the souls in his soul pool went out like candlelight. The entire soul pool turned pitch black. The blood-soaked Dragon Emperor, who was hidden in the 9-star primal core, formed a profound hand seal. Xiao Chen's limp body floated up like a sponge in water. The originally formless heart force in the world transformed into thin halos of light that surrounded the surroundings. As the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor continuously formed hand seals, the invisible light continuously poured into Xiao Chen's body and then flowed out. It was like clean water washing away dirt. However, at this moment, it was using the most mysterious force in the world to help Xiao Chun clean the wounds in his body. Under the influence of the heart force, Xiao Chen's shattered dragon bones slowly fused back together. The blood-soaked Dragon Emperor gently blew out a mouthful of pure scarlet dragon chi, and Xiao Qin's mended bones immediately stabilized. After the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor blew out this mouthful of pure dragon chi, his figure weakened even further. While the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor said that he was using his heart force to treat Xiao Qin's injuries, in reality, the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor himself was the one doing the actual work. The most important thing was still that mouthful of scarlet dragon chi. However, there was no need to tell Xiao Qin about all this. The blood-soaked Dragon Emperor looked at the demonic chi veritable essence energy and spiritual energy veritable essence energy in the essence movement pill. His expression appeared uncertain, thinking about something. Xiao Qin had asked him why he had not appeared after breaking through to Star Venerate. The blood-soaked Dragon Emperor did not tell Xiao Qin the true reason. Turning into a demonic chi, is this an unavoidable fate for all the experts of my Blue Dragon race? I hope that you are luckier than me. The blood-soaked Dragon Emperor shook his head and stopped thinking about it. Then, he continued to focus on using his heart force to treat Xiao Qin's injuries. For hours were enough. The shattered bones in Xiao Qin's body had already fused back together, and his dragon bones had recovered. The rest was not a big deal. By relying on the strong recovery ability of the dragon race bloodline, Xiao Qin's internal injuries would heal quickly. The blood-soaked Dragon Emperor stopped, and the surrounding light screen vanished. Xiao Qin's hovering body slowly descended. Big brother, there really is a fortuitous encounter. The unconscious Xiao Qin opened his eyes and saw the little monk rushing over to Xiao Qin in wild joy. Without saying a word, the little monk tried to carry him. Whoosh! This startled Xiao Qin. He gently slapped the ground and stood up. Hey, big brother, your injuries have healed? Xiao Qin also felt surprised. His dragon bones had healed, and his injuries were mostly healed. This was truly strange. Xiao Qin wanted to ask the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor about it. However, he discovered that the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor was already asleep. This was truly surprising. Xiao Qin still had many questions to ask the blood-soaked Dragon Emperor. For example, he did not have time to ask about the Black Dragon King suppressed in the underground dragon city. Now that my dragon bones have healed, all I need is time to recover from my remaining internal injuries. What fortuitous encounter did you discover? Initially, Xiao Qin just wanted to send the little monk away. Unexpectedly, the little monk actually found a fortuitous encounter. Come with me. There are actually words carved on a stone pillar. I did not have time to take a closer look before I ran over to inform Big Brother. The little monk turned around and led Xiao Qin forward. The underground, filled with stone pillars, was like a maze. As the two walked, they came to a stone pillar and stopped. Xiao Qin took a look and saw that this seemed to be a treasure pillar with a divine flame. Big brother, look. The words are here. When Xiao Qin looked carefully, it was indeed as he had expected. Many words were carved on a string of stone pillars. I studied heart force for 1,000 years. Before my death, I had to admit that heart force cannot be passed down or imparted. Whether one can comprehend it or not depends on fate. However, there are also some comprehensions that I left behind. If you see them, it can be considered fate. After reading carefully, Xiao Qin and the little monk rejoiced. These were actually the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's comprehensions of heart force. As Xiao Qin continued reading, he saw that Xiao Qin was frowning heavily, feeling vexed. It turned out that the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's comprehensions were also cryptic and hard to understand. They were extremely profound, like a heavenly book. To think that this is the simplified version of heart force. This Scarlet Blood Pirate King is really incredible. He knew that heart force cannot be passed down, yet he took another path and left behind this heavenly heart art. After cultivating it, one can use soul energy to imitate the simplified version of heart force. After the little monk finished reading, he felt deeply moved and revealed joy on his face. You can understand it. It's very simple. It's even easier to understand than the ancient scriptures I read in the temple. How could I not understand it? What's wrong, big brother? Could it be that you can't understand it? The little monk showed a strange expression as he looked at Xiao Qin. looking like he deserved a beating. Some mockery and some confusion. "You can't even understand this?" Xiao Chun smiled embarrassedly and said, "It's all right. I understand a little." "Oh, I thought that big brother did not understand and was prepared to share it. It looks like there is no need. Normally, our abbot would come to me for guidance on the annotations of some ancient scriptures." After the little monk finished speaking with a smile, he sat down and started cultivating. The little monk could understand the ancient scriptures that even the abbot did not understand. If Xiao Chun had known, he would not have had to worry. Xiao Chun felt depressed, but he could not do anything about it. He could only continue reading the scriptures that the Scarlet Blood Pirate King left behind. After reading it 10 times, Xiao Chun finally gained some comprehension. He understood where the heavenly heart art came from. After reading it 100 times, Xiao Chun revealed an expression of understanding. The Scarlet Blood Pirate King was indeed strong. To think that this heavenly heart art could imitate the simplified version of heart force. After comprehending it in his heart, Xiao Chun sat down cross-legged and started to cultivate the heavenly heart art. Xiao Chun's comprehension ability was extremely rare in this world. After he comprehended the heavenly heart art from the words on the stone pillars, his cultivation speed was not slow. In merely 1 hour, the heavenly heart art successfully drew out the soul energy in his soul pool. For hours later, he opened his eyes, and a pale white flame could be seen in his palm. This was the heart flame. This was what the Scarlet Blood Pirate King called this simplified version of heart force. True heart force was formless and invisible. However, it was ever-changing and could be used on any martial technique. As Xiao Chun looked at his palm, he felt somewhat vexed at this tiny heart flame. How should I maximize the might of this tiny heart flame? Ha ha! Delightful! Just as Xiao Chun felt vexed, he heard the little monk laughing continuously. Then he saw the little monk leaping around underground and jabbing a finger into the air. With the point of his finger, an illusory figure shot out. The image was a gigantic finger of an ancient Buddha with a faint flame burning inside. This was the heart flame that the little monk just cultivated. When Xiao Chun saw this, he felt horrified. What a fellow! To think that he managed to merge the heart flame and the Buddhist sect's martial technique so quickly. This completely formed a brand new martial technique. Comparing oneself to others would only make one angry. Xiao Chun looked at his palm. He had not figured out how to use the heart flame yet. Then, he shook his head and put it away. Originally, this should have been a joyous matter. However, compared to Yin Chun, Xiao Chun could not bring himself to feel happy. Boom! All of a sudden, the gigantic illusory fingers that were randomly weaving among the stone pillars hit one of the stone pillars by accident. Bang! The ancient stone pillar instantly crumbled, falling towards Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun did not find this strange. In the time it took for a spark to fly, he got up and retreated, narrowly dodging the attack. If Xiao Chun had been struck, his newly recovered physical body would not have been able to endure such a blow. However, he still could not avoid being covered in dust. Ha ha! Big brother Xiao, how is the might of the heavenly heart finger that I comprehended? Yin Chun said with a smile as he ran overexcitedly. Just as Xiao Chun was about to answer, he suddenly felt a terrifying will of soul surpass the many layers of heart force obstruction and sweep over. Fortunately, with the obstruction of the heart force, this will, which should have been incredibly fast, slowed down significantly. Xiao Chun pulled the little monk and quickly retreated, moving behind the stone pillar with the divine flame. Those sovereign personages have not left yet. The little monk whispered with lingering fear in his heart. That is within reason. Xiao Chun remained expressionless. He did not find this unexpected as he thought of a countermeasure. How could the sovereign personages of the demonic Tao sects leave so easily with such vast benefits? Not to mention the faux god flame that could make sovereign personages fall out with. Just the 8 supreme treasures were worth a sovereign personage waiting here for half a year. It would be rather difficult to leave now. The only good news was that the terrifying heart force underground deterred sovereign personages from coming down to check. However, The two could not execute their movement techniques due to the heart force, so they could not leave. Chapter 1830. A stone pillar suddenly collapsed, but I didn't see the two of them. Strange, what's going on? Could it be that someone can survive a fall? On top of the stone pillar, the three elders from the devil's sect looked at each other and felt that it was a little difficult to understand. The sudden collapse of the stone pillar had attracted the three of them here. However, after looking around, they did not find anything. As for going down, however, the sovereign personages from the three great demonic Tao sects all had their own thoughts. The two sovereign personages from the Blood Demon Royal Hall and the Fantasy Cloud sect would definitely not take the risk. Although the two were sovereign personages, their physical bodies were not heaven-defying. If they fell, they would not fare much better than those holy venerates. As for the Heavenly Eagle Castle's sovereign personage, Xiao Chun was confident that he would not fall to his death. But how to get up was a problem for him. He also had to worry about whether the other two people up there would trip him up. If he was trapped for 10 or 100 years, that would be too much of a loss. Brother Hong, the demonic cultivation techniques of your Heavenly Eagle Castle mainly cultivate the physical body. How about going down and taking a look? An old man holding a ghost pennant greeted the Heavenly Eagle Castle sovereign personage rather politely. Bullshit. How is that ordinary gravity? It's clearly the legendary heart force. I might be fine if I go down, but how am I going to come up? The rather stout Heavenly Eagle Castle sovereign personage shook his head, showing no intention of going down. It's probably a mess now. If the two of them were really down there, even if they didn't fall to their deaths, they wouldn't be able to come out. If we really want to break this heart force, only if the sect masters of our three sects join hands will we have a chance. The Blood Demon Royal Hall's sovereign personage seated on the underworld ghost bird said softly, "The faux god flame is sufficient for the three sects to work together. However, what if there's no one down there?" The three sovereign personages discussed endlessly, unable to come to a consensus. In the pitch-black abyss, the little monk and Xiao Chun were unable to see or hear the situation above. He could only feel a few terrifying wills piercing through the obstruction of his heart force and scanning the area several times before leaving. "Big brother, what should we do?" the little monk asked nervously. Xiao Chun said calmly, "After they leave, we'll split up and see if there's a way out." In fact, even if he couldn't find a way out, Xiao Chun still had another risky method to keep as a record. All right. Xiao Chen's calmness infected the little monk. Yan Chen's nervousness eased significantly. The vast space was like a labyrinth. To Xiao Chun and the little monk, each of the stone pillars was like a heavenly pillar. Looking up, he couldn't see the top at all. Half a day later, the two of them met under the divine flame precious pillar. They spread their hands, but neither of them came to a conclusion. I didn't come across any fortuitous encounters. The small monk rubbed his bald head and said gloomily. Xiao Chun cursed in his heart. "Do you think that opportunities are like cabbages that can be found anywhere? Let's take a break and continue searching." The space was very big. Since the two of them had not finished walking, they might still have a chance. Yes. Xiao Chun sat down cross-legged and swallowed another healing pill, mobilizing his true essence to speed up the recovery of his injuries. After breaking through to peak early stage star venerate, Xiao Chun had not checked his cultivation properly yet. When he looked inside with his spiritual sense, he saw that the space within the 9-star primal core had expanded significantly. The 9 spots of starlight carved on the primal core had also become increasingly resplendent, vaguely showing signs of breaking out, forming the scene of 9 stars revolving around the primal core. When Xiao Chun entered the primal core, the demonic chi veritable essence energy and spiritual energy veritable essence energy maintained a balance. However, they could not fill the entire primal core space like before, being everywhere, leaving no gaps. How to balance the two veritable essence energy in the future would be a headache for Xiao Chun. Although the Purple Thunder divine incantation had a strange origin, it was a bona fide righteous Tao cultivation technique that absorbed spiritual energy. Demonic Tao cultivation techniques also absorbed spiritual energy. However, The origin of demonic Tao cultivation techniques was comprehended from the ancient Great Desolate Aeon ferocious beasts. Demonic Tao cultivation techniques were completely different from righteous Tao cultivation techniques. They walked the path of being vicious and tyrannical, benefiting only oneself. The demonic Tao cultivation techniques required several times, even 10 times, more veritable essence energy than righteous Tao cultivators. However, when one advanced to the early stages, it was extremely horrifying. Due to the vast amount of veritable essence energy, it was hard to avoid remnant impurities and other energies. The demonic Tao cultivation techniques suppressed the demonic Qi veritable essence energy, pitch black, tyrannical, and horrifying. The pros and cons of such a cultivation method were very clear. It opposed righteous Tao cultivators. It was just like the relationship between humans and great desolate Aeon ferocious beasts. It was unavoidable. Right now, what Xiaoqin needed was a demonic Tao cultivation technique. After withdrawing his spiritual sense, Xiaoqin sent his consciousness into his soul pool. Compared to veritable essence energy, what he valued more was his soul energy. Xiaoqin already understood the importance of soul energy when he was in the major primal core realm. After advancing to the star venerate realm, Xiaoqin's consciousness could easily inspect his soul pool. His soul pool was as vast and boundless as before. The azure-colored dragon seal formed by his soul hovered in the center. The surroundings were vast and hazy, with a layer of white fog spreading. Many bright spots of light in the sky looked like stars, lighting up his soul pool. The star venerate realm was also known as the starry sky realm. This was because the sky in his soul pool was filled with spots of light. This was a mysterious phenomenon that would appear only after one advanced to star venerate. When starlight flickered in one's eyes, it was like the many stars decorating the sky. Then, one's will of soul could fly out. The strong could even let their will of soul truly roam the starry heavens. It was like the primordial spirit of an immortal leaving his body. When Xiaoqin opened his eyes again, most of his injuries were already healed. Then, he had a simple conversation with the little monk. The two continued exploring the surroundings. When they met again, they returned empty-handed. 3 days later, "Big brother, it looks like the two of us will really have to grow old alone here." The two had already explored the space at the bottom of the stone pillar. The surroundings were all dead ends. After obtaining the result, the little monk became more open-minded. Being able to die here with Big Brother Xiao is pretty good. After leaving the temple, aside from Master, I met many people. Either they ran when they saw me, or they saw that I was young and wanted to cheat me. Yinsha mumbled a lot. At first, it sounded normal. However, as he spoke, tears started flowing out. In the end, the little monk was still young. His eyes had not matured yet, and the childishness on his face had not faded. Thinking about death, he still found it hard to feel happy. Speaking of which, little monk, how old are you? Sob, sob, sob. 17. What's wrong? The little monk said in a somewhat choked voice. 17. Xiaoqin knew that Yinshan was not yet 20. However, he was surprised. He was not even 18. That made sense. In the end, Yinshan was only 17. How could he let go of the thought of dying here? If it were Xiaoqin, he probably would not be able to do it either. Wait a minute, 17 years old, silver Buddhist light. Master said that my birth is the greatest blessing. He suspects that I am the reincarnation of an esteemed monk. My comprehension ability and talent are even more terrifying than that of a demonic genius. Suddenly, many scenes flashed in Xiaoqin's mind. The fragmented memories of the dragon race experts, faux god flame, suddenly appeared. The silver Buddhist light did not represent the reincarnation of an esteemed monk. Instead, it was the reincarnation of a Buddha, from the previous epic that rivaled an immortal. 17 years. When Xiaoqin thought about the time, he happened to match up with that Buddha. Mahasvara Buddha. Mahasvara Buddha. Suddenly, Xiaoqin felt somewhat excited in his heart. There was an answer to all these questions. Buddhists talk about fate and believe in karma. I saw some Buddhist essence in you. Perhaps we can meet again." In that instant, Shao Chun recalled the words of the Mahesvara Buddha before he passed away. "This fate has not been extinguished, and karma still exists." The little monk's body was covered in killing and sin. One could say that he was covered in filth. However, his heart was pure, clean, crystalline, and transparent. Great freedom. Everything about the little monk was now firmly in line with these three words. Buddha is in my heart, and Buddha is a true Buddha. If there is no Buddha in my heart, how can I find a true Buddha? With Buddha in one's heart, even if one committed overwhelming sin and killed boundlessly, one can still be free and unfettered. Shao Chun pressed his palms together and solemnly bowed to the little monk. "This fate has not been extinguished, and karma still exists. Venerable, you are right. Thank you. Whether it was the Adumbra Buddha on the Emperor's Road, you saved my life, Shao Chun, or the Buddhist sect's magic skill, Dermic World, which allowed me to escape danger several times, or the various instructions you gave me before you passed away, or now, when the Sarira entered my body and suppressed the demonic nature in my body. Both of them received a bow from me, Shao Chun." Chapter 1831. Shao Chun's inexplicable bow immediately confused the little monk. He smiled between tears and said, "Big brother, I am not an esteemed monk or a Buddha. It is useless for you to bow to me. The two of us will still be trapped here until we die." However, right after the little monk spoke, he saw the image of a large Buddha behind Shao Chun. This Buddha pressed his palms together and smiled, exuding a supreme Buddhist might. This was not the strangest thing. The strangest thing was that the little monk actually felt that this large Buddha image was smiling at him. "Who said that the two of us will die here?" Shao Chun looked up at the little monk and smiled faintly, feeling a sense of familiarity. "That's not it. Big brother, I saw a Buddha behind you earlier." The little monk felt incredibly shocked. Fearing that Shao Chun would not believe him, he emphasized, "It's true. It really is a large Buddha. It even smiled at me." Of course, Shao Chun believed it. However, he would not tell the little monk the reason. Illusion, illusion, illusion? However, that is clearly not the case. "That's right. Big brother, you said earlier that we don't have to die here?" The little monk exclaimed in pleasant surprise as he suddenly recalled something. Shao Chun nodded. "I never said that we will die here if we cannot find a way out. We just have to take some risks." "What method?" the little monk asked curiously, feeling interested. Shao Chun did not answer. He only took out the Scarlet Blood War banner and held it tightly with both hands. Then he closed his eyes and sensed the black cutlass cruising the vast sea. His essence, blood, and soul had already merged with the immemorial demon soul formation. No matter where the black cutlass was, as long as he focused, he could sense it. This was because the black cutlass was already a part of him. "I see it. I see it." Slowly, a scene appeared in Shao Chun's mind. In this scene, Shao Sual and the others were cruising the sea on the black cutlass. People came and went on the ship. The strange black cutlass gave off a layer of scarlet mist as it bobbed up and down in the waves. Shao Chun's consciousness slowly sank in. Soon, he saw the immemorial demon soul formation in the compartment. There was a terrifying heartbeat in the depths of the scarlet demon soul formation, thumping continuously. Within the hazy blood mist, one could vaguely see an extremely terrifying, evil, and ferocious beast grinning. The little monk who was standing on Shao Chun suddenly felt a terrifying demonic aura coming from his body. Shao Chun's long hair danced wildly in the wind. His eyes were pitch black and full of devilishness, causing others to not dare to look directly at him. Slowly, this wave of demonic might continuously strengthened. If it wasn't for the heart force here stopping it, it might have already rushed into the heavens and caused a great phenomenon. Not good. The little monk's keen senses told him that something was wrong. He rolled on the ground. With a loud bang, a demonic ship shrouded in a bloody mist appeared out of nowhere. As Shao Chun stood at the bow of the ship, Shao saw and the others rushed out of the deck, putting up their guard and feeling suspicious. When Xiao Chun, who was at the bow of the ship, saw him, his expression relaxed. "Young Master Xiao, what's going on?" Elder Tang and the others asked in confusion. "We'll talk about it later. Xiao Suo, come here for a moment." Xiao Chun turned around and withdrew his demonic might, returning to normal. Then his gaze fell on Xiao Suo. Xiao Suo felt that something was wrong. His intuition told him that something big was about to happen to him. "Big brother, what's the matter?" Xiao Suo asked as he looked at Xiao Chun, showing a nervous expression and feeling somewhat nervous in his heart. Xiao Chun did not say anything. He opened his palm, and the faux god flame that the Scarlet Blood Pirate King left behind slowly appeared, hovering in the air. "Senior, what do you think of this person? This is the person you chose for me? His talent is ordinary, and he is rather old." Just when Xiao Chun thought that it was hopeless, the faux god flame changed the topic. Its voice rang out in his mind again. "However, he does have a pure pirate's heart, something that you do not have. However, this is what I value the most. Back then, my talent was also ordinary. As long as one maintained a pure pirate's heart, one could become a legendary pirate king. That would not be incredible no matter what era it was." Xiao Chun smiled faintly. Indeed, it was as he expected. Back then, when the Scarlet Blood Pirate Kings said that he lacked something, Xiao Chun recalled that he lacked a pirate's heart. He realized that what he lacked was a pirate's heart. Xiao Chun's ambition was not this. How could he have a pirate's heart? This was very normal. Xiao Suo, this clump of flame, represents the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's inheritance. Today, I will pass this fortuitous encounter to you on behalf of Senior Scarlet Blood Pirate King. I hope that you will not bring disgrace to the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's name in the future and persevere in your pirate's heart." Xiao Chun enunciated every word seriously as he looked at Xiao Suo. "Big brother, this fortuitous encounter is too great. I cannot accept it. I am not too ambitious. I just want to drift on the sea for the rest of my life." "Big brother, you are—" Xiao Suo still wanted to say something, but Xiao Chun interrupted him. Xiao Chun smiled and said, "Don't say any more. Back then, even I misjudged this Scarlet Blood War Banner at the auction. It was you. You were the one who personally won this war banner. This is the will of the heavens. This fortuitous encounter was prepared for you, Xiao Suo." Before Xiao Suo could reject, the faux god flame in Xiao Chen's hand directly entered Xiao Suo's forehead. Whoosh! A fierce flame immediately blazed on Xiao Suo's body. An incredibly vast aura surged out from his body. Without exception, Xiao Chun and the others on the deck were all knocked back by this aura. The Iron Hand Yama and Elder Tang, who were more knowledgeable, immediately petrified on the spot, feeling startled. Faux God Flame. This is the legendary Faux God Flame. The Iron Hand Yama muttered, "It really is a Faux God Flame. Furthermore, it is the Faux God Flame left behind by the legendary pirate, the Scarlet Blood Pirate King." Suddenly realizing something, the Iron Hand Yama looked at Xiao Chun and asked, "Xiao Chun, did you snatch this from Yinja?" Xiao Chun shook his head and said no. Indeed, Xiao Chun had taken it from under the noses of 10-odd holy venerates, including Yinja and the many demonic Dao sect true inheritors. What about Yinja? Elder Tang and the Iron Hand Yama looked around, feeling cautious and fearful. Clearly, Yinja left too great an impression on them, nearly leaving a barrier in their hearts that they could not overcome. "Hee, I killed him with one saber strike," the little monk Yin Chan said with a cocky expression as he ran over with a smile. "Where did this little bald donkey come from? Just chant the scriptures properly and stop messing around." The Iron Hand Yama looked over speechlessly, not believing Yin Chun at all. If it were in the past, he would have directly pushed the little monk away when he was in a bad temper. Xiao Chan said softly, "I did indeed die at his hands. Without him, I would not have survived until now. Let me introduce you. This is Yin Chun, a Buddhist sect expert from the Central Great Realm. He is known as Cough. Cough." The little monk coughed, and Xiao Chun recalled. He smiled and said, "His nickname is not important. What is important is that Yinja did indeed die at his hands. You don't have to worry about Yenju appearing again in the future. The Iron Hand Yama and Elder Tang showed shocked expressions as they looked at the little monk in disbelief. However, since this was what Xiao Chun said, it was absolutely true. It was nothing much. Seniors, there is no need to be too shocked. The little monk, Yin Shen, smiled faintly, showing the demeanor of an expert. Whoosh! Just at this moment, Xiao Sua's aura on the deck suddenly withdrew. In the next moment, he opened his eyes, and a brilliant light flashed in them. Xiao Sua did not open his cultivation. However, his gaze was deep and calm. Everyone could sense that Xiao Sua was no longer the same as he was in the past. Envy flashed in the eyes of the Iron Hand Yama and Elder Tang. Of course, the two would not hold any grudges. Xiao Chen had risked his life to obtain this faux god flame. The two would not mind who Xiao Chan gave the inheritance to. However, they could not help but feel disappointed. Big brother. Xiao Sua leaped into the air and landed before Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun nodded slightly. I already obtained the complete memories of the Scarlet Blood Pirate King. Although the treasures in this stone pillar are very difficult to take out, the entire Scarlet Blood Pirate King's body is filled with vast treasures. However, the entire Scarlet Blood Pirate King's body is filled with vast treasures. What we have seen now is just the tip of the iceberg. Xiao Sua's aura turned much steadier. While he spoke of shocking matters, he was now incredibly calm and steady. Xiao Chen was not surprised by Xiao Sua's words. In his opinion, the entire 100,000 Great Peaks were the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's body. Just this body alone was already so valuable that it was immeasurable. Right now, Xiao Chen was not concerned about this. He nodded and said, right now, there are still some sovereign personages in the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's body. We're trapped here, unable to get out. Xiao Sua smiled calmly and said, that is simple. Xiao Sua gently snapped his fingers, and a mark appeared in the bodies of Xiao Chun and the others. In the next moment, Xiao Sua snapped his fingers again. He smiled and said, it's done. I have already sent out all those without the scarlet blood mark in their bodies. The cave entrance is also closed. They have inherited the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's will. Even if sovereign personages gather here, they will have to obey the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's will. Come, let's go to the blazing sea of blood. The Scarlet Blood Pirate King's warship is there. Chapter 1832. After inheriting the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's will, Xiao Sua was like a monarch in the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's physical body. He could easily do many things that were unimaginable in the eyes of ordinary people. For example, with 2 snaps of his fingers, he could easily move those sovereign personages away. With a thought, the black cutlass carried everyone into the blazing scarlet sea like it teleported. The problem that had troubled Xiao Chun and the small monk was easily solved just like that. How miraculous! I came out just like that. On the deck, the little monk stood at the bow of the ship. As he looked at the boundless blazing sea of blood, he sighed ruefully. Boom! 10,000 li ahead, the scarlet flame waves parted, revealing a majestic scarlet pirate ship. With a tremendous pressure, it rode the wind and broke through the waves. Scarlet Blood Warship. The pirate crew of the Black Cutlass immediately felt excited. However, when the Scarlet Blood Pirate ship got closer, they discovered that the ship was in ruins. It looked old, as if it had gone through a heaven-shaking battle. It had already been tens of thousands of years, and they hadn't had the time to rest. Xiao Chen saw it clearly. Not bad. The skeleton is still there, and the formation is not damaged. You just need to repair it slowly. I don't think you can afford to give you a legendary battleship all at once. Xiao Sua nodded. Before the Scarlet Blood Pirate King died, he seemed to have purposely arranged this. Regardless, it's not too bad. It has a solid foundation, and with enough resources, it will become a legendary battleship sooner or later. Xiao Chun sighed lightly, and only after a long time did he say, it's time to part ways. Both of you can enter closed-door cultivation here for a while. There are still many fortuitous encounters in the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's body. After cultivating here for half a year, he will definitely gain a lot. Xiao Suan knew what Xiao Chen meant. The moment the Black Cutlass completely demonized, It was no longer suitable for the crew to remain. Big brother, thank you, Xiao Suo said solemnly as he looked at Xiao Chun. For a moment, he did not know what to say. Xiao Chun smiled casually and said, "Don't stand on ceremony with me. It's settled then. What about you, big brother? Do you need to go into seclusion here? There's no need for that. The biggest thing I've understood here is that I've broken the demon barrier in my heart. I've already wasted too much time, and I can't delay any longer. I have to go to the place I want to go. Take care." Xiao Suo did not force Xiao Chun to stay. He called out, and everyone on the Black Cutlass came over to say goodbye to Xiao Chun. After this parting, he really did not know when they would have the chance to meet again. Luo Nan and Fei, the young couple, Elder Tang, and the Iron Hand Yama were much more saddened than the others. Big brother Xiao Chun, take care. Fei will miss you too. Fei was still the same as before. Every time they parted, her eyes would be filled with tears. On the other hand, Luo Nan appeared rather calm. He performed a cupped fist salute and said, "Big brother Xiao, although I do not know what you are going to do, I can sense it." This trip of Big Brother Zhao's was not easy. Xiao Chun was very satisfied to have such a group of friends to send him off when he was leaving. "Goodbye," Xiao Chun said with a cupped fist salute. He felt some reluctance in his heart. He did not know when they would meet again. At the bow of the Scarlet Blood Warship, Xiao Suo held up the Scarlet Blood War banner and ferociously waved it. Then, an irresistible force sent the Black Cutlass out. This was because Xiao Chun had specifically instructed the Scarlet Blood Warship to be sent as far as possible, lest they ran into the people of the three great demonic Dao sections. When the Black Cutlass reappeared, Xiao Chun did not know where it was, either. Looking at the little monk beside him, Xiao Chun smiled and said, "It's just the two of us again." Hee. Speaking of which, big brother, are you going to the Central Great Realm? Yes. Where exactly? The Central Great Realm is incredibly vast. There are 4 dynasties, 8 empires, many tribes, and all sorts of desolate places. It is simply too big. The dragon race. That is the Divine Dragon Empire. That is a good place. However, I have never been there before and am not very familiar with it. Xiao Chun felt excited. The little monk before him came from the Central Great Realm. He could ask the little monk for advice on how to get to the Central Great Realm. "Oh, right. Little monk, I still have not asked why you came to the Ash Gray Sea." Xiao Chun asked out of curiosity. The little monk scratched his head and smiled. "There is a heavenly book scholar in the Yinwu dynasty. He is good at divination and knows the dragon-seeking art. He is known as the Book of All Things. There is no fate that he cannot divine. Many people seek him out to divine their fortuitous encounters. I was curious, so I sought him out as well. Then he said that the greatest fortuitous encounter of my life is in the Myriad Star Mountain. Then I came here in a daze. The heavenly book scholar? The Book of All Things? Interesting. If there's a chance, I should see for myself. I can get him to divine for me and see if he is really that divine. However, the Ash Gray Sea should be very far from the Central Great Realm. How did you get here?" Compared to the heavenly book scholar, Xiao Chun was more concerned about this. How to get to the Central Great Realm. There are trans-realm transportation formations. The Ash Gray Sea has them as well. However, they require a lot of spirit jades, and there's a limit to how long they can be activated. They are all ancient transportation formations that require frequent maintenance. Good. Bring me to the trans-realm transportation formation. That should not be a problem, right? Leave it to me. Although I am rather unlucky, I don't think I have ever gotten lost. Xiao Chun entered deep thought. As he looked at the little monk's confident expression, he thought to himself, I still have to prepare another backup plan. I cannot place all my hopes on the little monk. Whoosh! In the next moment, Xiao Chen's figure vanished and reappeared in his cultivation room. With a casual wave, the 8 supreme treasures that he obtained from the stone pillar with the divine flame appeared one by one. That's not right. There are only 7 now. I gave one of them to the little monk, the Kasaya. After subduing these supreme treasures, Xiao Chun had not had time to look at them. Actually, Xiao Chun had been anticipating them for a long time already. Then, he looked around and fixed his gaze on the peak grade spirit jades. Xiao Chun thought to himself, the value of the peak Great Spirit Jades already surpasses that of Spirit Jades. They are treasures of the world. Even a sovereign personage would desire them. Everything else aside, just the spiritual energy contained in the peak Great Spirit Jades could allow Xiao Chun to break through to middle stage Star Venerate without any difficulty. The most important thing was that the spiritual energy in it was exceptionally pure and dense, not containing any impurities. If Xiao Chun relied on it to advance, he would not need to spend time consolidating his veritable essence energy. However, it was too much of a pity to use it now. Furthermore, he could not maximize its value. After putting it away, Xiao Chen's gaze landed on the medicinal pill that was clearly for ferocious beasts to consume. This medicinal pill was about the size of a chicken egg. It was bright red, and a flame burned on its surface. One could easily feel its ferocious and tyrannical medicinal energy without even consuming it. Clearly, Xiao Chun had no use for it. If the demon blood vulture were here, he could consider letting it consume it. After all, it had followed him for a long time. Unfortunately, Xiao Chun did not know where it ran off to. He could only put it away for now and think about it in the future. Next was the pipa. As Xiao Chun gently plucked it, a melodious sound rang out, sounding exceptionally clean. This was also a soul tool. It was very valuable, but Xiao Chun could not tell how valuable it was. After all, Xiao Chun was not proficient in everything. He knew very little about musical instruments. Suddenly, Xiao Chun thought of a person, and his lips curled up in a smile. It was not headliner Ling Long, but his martial nephew, Ling Yu. Didn't Ling Yu already admire headliner Ling Long for a long time and even set a 5-year time limit with her? Xiao Chun decided to keep it for Ling Yu. When Ling Yu went to ask for her, he would use it as a betrothal gift. The remaining items were a ghost pennant, a treasure bow, a secret manual, and a mutated fruit. These were the 4 supreme treasures that Xiao Chun valued the most. These 4 items were of direct help to Xiao Chen's strength. With a wave of his hand, Xiao Chun grasped the treasure bow. Then, he looked at it carefully and saw 3 words carved on it. God Shadow. It turned out that this bow was called the God Shadow bow. Did it mean that the arrows it fired were like the afterimages left behind by God? Just this name inspired Xiao Chen's anticipation and excitement. In the past, Xiao Chen also liked using bows. Back in the Sky Dome realm, that Soul Slayer had helped him kill many strong enemies. There was a bow, but no arrows. However, there should be some arrows in his storage ring. After searching, Xiao Chun found many arrows. However, they were all high-quality arrows forged in the Sky Dome realm. He did not know if they could be used with a God Shadow bow. Suddenly, Xiao Chun thought of something. He circulated the heavenly heart art, and a strand of heart flame soared up from his palm. This was a simplified version of heart force formed from soul energy. Xiao Chun thought back to when the little monk easily shattered an ancient stone pillar with a heavenly heart finger. The might of the heart force was still fresh in Xiao Chen's mind. At that time, he had been worrying about how to use this heart flame. Now that he had a bow and arrows, Xiao Chun immediately thought of how to use them. A smile appeared on Xiao Chen's face as he put away the God Shadow bow. Then, he went to look for the little monk, Yin Chun, with a smile on his face. Big brother, why are you smiling so happily? What's the matter? The little monk asked out of curiosity, not knowing that danger was approaching. After you comprehended the heavenly heart finger, you have not had an opponent to practice with. I thought about it, and decided that since I have nothing to do, I might as well help you practice with it. Xiao Chen showed a calm expression, not showing any fluctuations as he spoke softly. The little monk smiled and said, "Ha ha, Big brother really understands me. My hands have been itching for the past few days. After I comprehended my unique secret technique, I could not find an opponent to practice with. It was very frustrating. However, the heavenly heart finger is very mighty. Furthermore, I just comprehended it. I will not take responsibility if I accidentally injure Big Brother." Xiao Chen smiled and said, "Don't worry, just do your best." The two went to the deck and pointed to the sea. Then, the little monk leaped off and flew 1 kilometer. A little further, whoosh, The ash-gray sea moved like it was flat ground. The little monk flew 5 kilometers away and shouted, "Is that enough?" Still not enough. After moving 100 kilometers, Xiao Chun verified that the little monk's vision was somewhat blurry. Then he took out the god's shadow bow and nocked an arrow. "Why does it feel like something is wrong?" the little monk said, feeling it was strange as he scratched his head. Chapter 1833. On the deck, Xiao Chun knocked an arrow on the god's shadow bow. Then he grasped the bow handle. In that instant, he felt a connection with the bow. Suddenly, a mysterious perception came from the god's shadow bow. Xiao Chen's field of vision zoomed in. This was the power of the god's shadow bow. He did not circulate any veritable essence energy or open his heavenly eye. The instant Xiao Chun grasped the bow, his field of vision zoomed in. It felt like he was only 1 kilometer away from 50 kilometers away. He was so close that he could see everything clearly. The perception from the god shadow bow was still searching for its target. When the god shadow bow saw the little monk hundreds of kilometers away, the god shadow bow's perception quickly searched for its target. When it saw the little monk hundreds of kilometers away, a vague question immediately appeared in Xiao Chen's mind. That was the god shadow bow's consciousness, asking Xiao Chun if he was the target. This was probably the feeling of being connected by heart and flesh. After the god shadow bow obtained Xiao Chen's confirmation, the perception in front instantly focused on the little monk's body. The little monk, who felt that something was wrong, moved quickly, flashing about. The little monk's movement technique was so terrifying that even a regular holy venerate would not be able to catch him. However, no matter how the little monk moved, Xiao Chun could see all the trajectories clearly. A formless line shot out from the god shadow bow, firmly locking onto the little monk. Between the 2 points in the line, Xiao Chun, you do not need to do anything else. You only need to draw the bowstring. Even if you hide to the ends of the world, it will be useless. Buzz. Xiao Chun slowly drew the bowstring. He immediately felt his soul energy flow into the bow like flowing water. However, the bowstring did not move at all, showing no intention of moving at all. "I can't draw it." Xiao Chun immediately felt startled. He felt that he had gone overboard. He had underestimated the might of a soul tool. Furthermore, the bow in his hand was no ordinary soul tool. The 8 supreme treasures that the Scarlet Blood Pirate King had purposely collected were all very special. It was very likely that the little monk would really die after this arrow was shot. Not to mention using the heart flame. Just shooting this arrow made Xiao Chen's heart pound. However, there was no turning back. "Little monk, I can only let you down." After draining a third of Xiao Chen's soul energy, the god shadow bow's bowstring finally drew back by 1 centimeter. Boom! Just as Xiao Chun was about to let go, the arrow knocked on the bow exploded, unable to withstand the immense force. A huge hole instantly appeared on the deck of the demonic ship. The huge force sent Xiao Chun flying on the spot, and his body directly crashed into the observation deck. With a bang, Xiao Chun spat out a mouthful of blood and collapsed to the ground. His face was extremely weak. Wang, the bowstring was still vibrating slightly, and the remaining energy exploded in all directions. Bang! Bang! The defenses of the black cutlass appeared extremely weak before this power. One after another, huge holes were blasted open. Waves rolled in all directions, causing the entire ship to shake violently. A moment later, the entire demonic ship was blown up, leaving only its skeleton. Xiao Chun struggled to get up. He let out a bitter laugh when he saw this scene. This time, he had indeed gone too far and played himself. There was a reason why soul tools were called soul treasures. No wonder only rank 6 demonic sects knew of them. Ordinary people could not control them as they pleased. The price of a mistake would not be as simple as death. "Big brother, what are you doing? Why don't I understand?" The little monk heard the terrifying explosion and rushed over. The scene before him stunned him. The completed black cutlass was riddled with holes. Xiao Chen's complexion was pale and weak. For an instant earlier, I felt death approaching. No matter what I did, I cannot shake it off. That nearly scared me to death. "Big brother," quickly tell me what martial technique you used the heavenly heart art to research. I really do not understand it all. The little monk said excitedly, not understanding what was going on. He thought that Xiao Chun had used the heavenly heart finger to comprehend an extremely terrifying martial technique like him. In the end, the little monk did not grasp the degree of control, resulting in failure. Xiao Chun said indifferently, "If you can understand it, am I still your big brother? Quickly go and capture a ferocious beast for me. The more ferocious, the better." Okay. Yin Shin scratched his head and left to carry out the order. How unlucky. As Xiao Qin looked at the black cutlass, he felt like crying, but no tears came out. However, after being with the little monk, his heart had already become very strong. He was mentally prepared for any misfortune. Fortunately, this black cutlass was now a demonic ship. It only needed one ferocious beast. After the immemorial demon soul formation absorbed flesh and souls, the ship could slowly recover. There was no need to worry. Holding the god's shadow bow, Xiao Chun carefully put it away. He made up his mind not to use it unless he had no other choice. The god's shadow bow was a great killing tool. He could not test the might of the heart flame. Instead, he might as well use an ordinary bow to test it. After rummaging through his storage ring, Xiao Chun took out the dust-covered Soul Slayer bow. Then, he gently patted the bow to get rid of the dust. When he saw this bow, he could not help thinking about the past in the Sky Dome realm. He remembered that this bow could bring out a lot of might based on how much vital chi one had. Its origins were very mysterious. One could draw this bow only with pure vital chi. However, Xiao Qin knew that there was no such thing as a limit in this world. The Kunlun realm had not tested this bow's limits yet. Now was a good time to test it out. Boom! Xiao Chun knocked an arrow, drew the bow, and drew the bowstring. When Xiao Chun used one cauldron force, it startled him slightly to think that he did not draw the bow to its fullest. Xiao Chun continued to pour in more vital chi. Soon, it reached 10 cauldron force. Xiao Chun discovered that the more vital chi he infused, the more horrifying the resistance he faced. He could not help feeling startled. What exactly was the origin of this bow? Now that he was in the Kunlun realm, he still could not draw it to its fullest. After thinking about it, there was only one possibility. Xiao Chun could only say that when forging this bow, the formation he infused in it might have been an immortal Tao formation from the previous epoch. The strength of the formation made up for the bow's inferior material. By the time Xiao Chun used 20 cauldron force, the bowstring was still not drawn to its fullest. Dragon roars rang out endlessly in his body. As Xiao Chun drew the Soul Slayer bow, his aura soared continuously. An item from the Sky Dome realm gave him a pleasant surprise. The heavenly heart art slowly circulated, and a strand of heart flame appeared at the tail of the arrow. Then it spread out and merged with the entire arrow. Whoosh! Xiao Chun let go, and the arrow infused with heart flame soared into the sky. The arrow immediately pierced through a late-stage, star-venerate ferocious beast in the sky. It cried out miserably as it fell into the sea. The black cutlass pounced over like a hungry tiger. The immemorial demon soul formation activated, and scarlet demonic chi spread out, quickly swallowing up the ferocious beast. As the black cutlass swallowed up the ferocious beast, the blood mist spreading out thickened. The holes in the black cutlass slowly healed. Xiao Chun stood upright while holding the bow, entering deep thought. It seemed to be weaker than the little monk's heavenly heart finger. However, it was much faster. Furthermore, the drain was negligible. Xiao Chun took out another arrow. However, this time, he knocked 3 arrows at the same time. The 3 arrows infused with heart flame tore through the sky. In the next moment, 3 miserable cries came from the sky as 3 ferocious beasts fell into the water. Xiao Chun smiled faintly and said, "Without a doubt, this simplified version of heart force is the most perfect combination with the bow and arrow." Then, Xiao Chun knocked another arrow. Using only 1 cauldron force, he drew the bowstring and opened his heavenly eye. Immediately, Xiao Chen's vision expanded. Using his heavenly eye, he allowed the Soul Slayer bow in his hand to reach a level similar to the God Shadow bow. Xiao Chun wanted to test the limits of the Heart Flame's range and might when infused with an arrow. Soon, his vision extended to 500 kilometers. Then, Xiao Chun locked on to a towering mountain. Boom! The instant Xiao Chun let go, that towering mountain turned into dust and vanished from the vast sea. This development stunned Xiao Chun. In the next moment, he startled awake. What fast speed! This was already a power that the Soul Slayer bow could not achieve. Heart Force, even the simplified version of Heart Force, had a flabbergasting might. The faster one's heart was, the faster one's arrow would be. The farther one's heart was, the farther one's arrow would be. Suddenly, Xiao Chun gained some comprehension of Heart Force. He vaguely felt like he had touched something. Heart Force is indeed unfathomable. Back then, when I saw those stone pillar spaces in the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's body, I felt that they were boundlessly vast, comparable to the starry heavens. Perhaps they were influenced by the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's Heart Force. Xiao Chun collected his thoughts and muttered to himself, no matter what, he had figured out how to use this simplified version of Heart Force, just like the little monk. The little monk was the reincarnation of a great Buddha. His horrifying comprehension ability could not be judged by the standards of ordinary people. The Heavenly Heart Finger was not created by just anyone. Even without Xiao Chun's comprehension ability, he could still find a way to use Heart Force that was not inferior to the little monk's. It was already something to be proud of. Satisfied, Xiao Chun put away the Soul Slayer bow. There were still 3 supreme treasures that he had not looked at carefully. One was a secret manual, one was the Qiongqi Beast Ghost Pennant, and one was a wondrous mutated fruit. Just by smelling the mutated fruit, Xiao Chun felt a comfortable chill. He felt an urge to burn his bloodline. This was a mutated fruit that strengthened the physique and improved the power of one's bloodline. Its ability was the same as the life juice source that Xiao Chun once obtained. However, its effect should be vastly different. It was not time to consume it yet. Xiao Chun put away the mutated fruit and looked at the ghost pennant. Since Xiao Chun had the experience of using a soul tool before, he took a quick look at it. Then, he only left his mark in the ghost pennant before placing it in his storage ring. Just thinking about the God Shadow bow, he knew that the ghost pennant's might was not far from it. Finally, there was only one secret manual left. The words Demonic Cloud Heaven Swallowing Art were written on the cover. Xiao Chun gave it a cursory look. This was an extremely tyrannical demonic Tao cultivation technique. The demonic clouds that lingered in the starry sea formed because the Scarlet Blood Pirate King cultivated this demonic Tao cultivation technique. After flipping through it, Xiao Chun carefully put it away as well. Indeed, he lacked a demonic Tao cultivation technique. Although this demonic Tao cultivation technique was tyrannical, it did not require one to eat humans or absorb souls. It was directly comprehended from the ancient ferocious beast, the demonic cloudbird. Its origins were extremely ancient. Xiao Chun made up his mind. The demonic Tao cultivation technique that he would cultivate in the future would be this demonic cloud heaven swallowing art. However, speaking of which, the little monk has been gone for so long. Why is it not back yet? The black cutlass had swallowed a few ferocious beasts and had already recovered. Ha ha! Big brother, I'm back. I found a huge bird for you. It is definitely very ferocious. I nearly let it run away. Just as Xiao Chun was thinking, the little monk's familiar laughter came from a distance. He saw the little monk in a somewhat sorry state, with some horrifying wounds on his body. However, he had a smile on his face. The little monk dragged a huge scarlet bird as he walked on the surface of the sea, slowly heading towards the black cutlass. Nearly all the feathers on that huge bird had been plucked clean, looking very miserable. He struggled ceaselessly and let out miserable howls, but he just couldn't break free. Xiao Chun frowned slightly. Why did this bird's voice sound somewhat familiar? Furthermore, that figure and silhouette seemed familiar. Chapter 1834. Big brother, this bird is very ferocious. It is really foolish. Ha ha ha. It purposely fled a few times and then turned back to sneak attack. Did it think that I did not know? The little monk was very ruthless. He forcefully folded the wings of the huge bird together and tried to grab it. Just like that, he dragged it over the surface of the sea. Whoosh! Xiaochen found this somewhat familiar. His figure flashed, and he landed on the surface of the sea to observe it closely. Aside from the feathers on its tail, the scarlet bird had lost nearly all its feathers. It was bald, and its huge body now looked pitifully thin and weak. This startled Xiaochen, to think that it really was the demon blood vulture. Initially, he only found it somewhat familiar. After careful observation, he finally confirmed it. Upon seeing this scene, Xiaochen could not help laughing loudly. "Where did you catch it?" The little monk answered honestly. "It charged over on its own. I did not go far before I saw it flying in our direction. Its entire body was filled with killing qi and a strong demonic nature. I felt that it would not be easy to deal with, so I was about to give up. Who knew? This despicable bird pecked me on the head and left with a strange smile. I really could not endure it. Look, you nearly got pecked through." With one look, there was indeed a clear mark on the little monk's shiny bald head. The demon blood vulture, which the little monk caught, wept in its heart after it completed the trial of its race. After completing the experiential training of its race, its strength had soared again. Without even thinking, it immediately came out to seek revenge on Xiaochen. After wandering around for a long time, the demon blood vulture sensed the aura of the black cutlass and gave chase. Along the way, the demon blood vulture saw a bald head on the surface of the sea. Out of curiosity, it pecked at the bald head. Unexpectedly, it caused such huge trouble. Even after using all its tricks, it could not defeat this monk. After being caught, the demon blood vulture was in a sorry state. The little monk, whose head had never been injured before, plucked out all its feathers in a fit of anger. The more surprising thing was yet to come. The little monk actually brought the demon blood vulture to Xiaochen. This was a great humiliation. Originally, the demon blood vulture wanted to appear awe-inspiring and teach Xiaochen a lesson. Who would have thought that he would turn into a General Five Hairs, appearing in such a sorry state? This made the vengeful demon blood vulture want to find a hole to hide in. Its pitiful reputation was ruined just like that. "Let go. It's my familiar." Xiaochen could not help smiling as he looked at the demon blood vulture's appearance. The little monk exclaimed, "This is Big Brother's demonic pet. How is this possible? I am the king blood vulture, the king blood vulture. How could it be someone else's magic pet?" "Don't listen to it." The demon blood vulture cried out in its heart, "Don't let me go. This great me is not anyone's demonic pet." Naturally, Xiaochen and the little monk would not care about what it was thinking. The small monk stammered, "Big brother, I'm really sorry for stripping your demonic pet." Xiaochen smiled casually. "It's fine. Go and rest first. I have something to say to the demon blood vulture." Big brother is really magnanimous. "Then I'll leave first." He had accidentally left Xiaochen's demonic pet in such a state. He was too embarrassed to continue staying here. Feeling as though a heavy burden had been lifted from his shoulders, the little monk quickly left. Now, only Xiaochen and the featherless demon blood vulture remained. One man and one beast watched quietly. The demon blood vulture was the first to give in. It continuously cursed Xiaochen in its heart. When it saw Xiaochen's eyes, it always felt fear. This was especially so in its current weakened state. When it flapped its wings weakly, it discovered that it could not fly at all. Xiaochen stepped forward, and the demon blood vulture retreated in a fluster. Then it advanced again and retreated again. Plop! The demon blood vulture stumbled and nearly fell, nearly getting swept away by the waves. Strange, what's wrong with this silly bird? I'm just treating its injuries. Why did it get so agitated? Xiaochen rubbed his chin, feeling somewhat confused and suspicious. Did it really become stupid? It looks like I have to reconsider the mysterious beast list that I intend to give it. Don't move. Boom! Xiaochen extended out his will of soul and finally used a forceful method to restrain the demon blood vulture. The demonic nature in Xiao Qin's body activated, and the demonic nature, veritable essence, energy in his primal core spread throughout his body. His eyes turned pitch black. It's over. It's over. It's really going to eat me. The demon blood vulture was frightened into trembling. However, in the next moment, Xiao Chun used his demonic qi veritable essence energy to treat its injuries. Black demonic qi entered the demon blood vulture's body, and its injuries slowly healed. Feathers quickly grew back all over its body. What a strong recovery speed. What fortuitous encounter did this demon blood vulture encounter? Xiao Chun felt startled. Although his demonic qi veritable essence energy was vast, it could not produce such a great healing effect. It looks like this demon blood vulture must have encountered something when it disappeared. When the demon blood vulture's wings were fully feathered, Xiao Chun took a closer look and discovered that the changes were rather great. First was the tail feathers. There was a golden line in the middle of the scarlet tail feathers. Then, there was a faint golden light flickering in the demon blood vulture's eyes. This fellow's bloodline is mutating. Xiao Chun felt startled. Fortunately, it was the little monk who ran into it. If it were anyone else, it would have eaten them already. Suddenly, Xiao Chun recalled the little monk's words. The demon blood vulture had taken the initiative to fly towards him. Furthermore, it had come in a ferocious manner, radiating killing qi. With this thought, Xiao Chun stopped what he was doing and looked at this demon blood vulture with a strange gaze. Could it be here to seek trouble for me? The demon blood vulture, which was plotting in secret, suddenly saw Xiao Chun's suspicious gaze. It was startled and quickly lowered its head. Boom! Just at this moment, a demonic might swept out in all directions. Demonic clouds churned in the sky and quickly covered the sky above the black cutlass before stopping. Big brother, a sovereign personage expert is here, the little monk said anxiously from the deck. He was somewhat worried that the sovereign personages of the three great demonic Dao sects had caught up. Xiao Chun frowned slightly. He ignored the demon blood vulture and returned to the demonic ship. Who knew? When the demon blood vulture saw the demonic clouds in the sky, it became even more afraid than Xiao Chun. The demon blood vulture flew up in a fluster and hid in the spirit beast platform of the black cutlass. Something's wrong with the aura. It feels like a ferocious beast, Xiao Chun said softly. The one that came did not seem like a demonic Dao cultivator, but more like a terrifying, ferocious beast. The little monk said softly, a ferocious beast is also a sovereign personage, ferocious beast. It will die an even more miserable death. This was true. The means of ferocious beasts were much more brutal than cultivators. Xiao Chun did not say anything. He only took out the god's shadow bow and knocked an arrow. This time, he learned from the previous lesson and merged the heart flame with the arrow in advance, preventing it from exploding from the god's shadow bow's strong force. A soul tool. The little monk exclaimed in sudden understanding. Big brother, were you trying to use this soul tool to shoot me earlier? I was wondering why I could not shake off the feeling of death looming over me. Xiao Chen's expression did not change as he countered indifferently. How can that be? Am I that kind of person? You are. The demon blood vulture thought to itself as it peeked its head out from the spirit beast platform. The little monk scratched his head, wondering if he had wronged his big brother. Young man, put away the soul tool in your hand. It cannot injure me. I do not have any malicious intent, either. Suddenly, a thought appeared in Xiao Chen's mind, startling him. What a terrifying, ferocious beast. The thought broke through his heart's defenses and forcefully appeared in his mind. Cannot injure me? That is hard to say. However, I believe that you do not have any malicious intent. Xiao Chen put away the god's shadow bow and did not prepare to attack. He saw a pair of terrifying eyes at the limits of his vision. The owner of those eyes was also a demon blood vulture. However, this demon blood vulture possessed terrifying strength, far greater than the one on the black cutlass. This demon blood vulture gave Xiao Chan the vague feeling that it surpassed sovereign personage, appearing somewhat unfathomable. However, this was not surprising. The demon blood vulture was a special ferocious beast in the first place. As long as it absorbed enough demonic nature, its strength could increase infinitely without any special bottlenecks. Of course, this was not the reason why Xiao Chen stopped. The main reason was that Xiao Chen felt a bloodline connection between the demon blood vulture and the demon blood vulture. The demon blood vulture, hiding on your ship, is my youngest son. It has a mischievous nature and does not like to live in groups. After disappearing for half a year, it suddenly returned to participate in the sovereign trial. To think that it managed to defeat its older brothers. Its bloodline even mutated, something unprecedented in the history of my demon blood vulture race. However, after it ate my race's holy fruit, it slipped away again, so that is the case. After understanding the cause and effect, Xiao Chun asked, "So, I want to see who exactly is the human who caused it to change so much." Xiao Chun said indifferently, "Since you have seen it, then you should know that I do not have any malicious intent toward it. I did not sign a blood contract with it or forcefully tame it. If you want to take it away, I have no objections. However, if you want to attack me, I will not just stand there and wait to be captured. No, no, no. You misunderstand. I wanted to stay by your side. I will help you form a blood contract with it." When the Blood Vulture King heard Xiao Chan say that he wanted it to take away its youngest son, it became anxious, saying no 3 times in a row. This reply stunned Xiao Chun. He did not know what to say. What kind of father would give his descendant to someone else to sign a blood contract with? Why are you not willing? In that case, I can give you some benefits. What do you want? A demonic Dao cultivation technique? Or a demonic Dao treasure? Or a divine item at the bottom of the sea? Or the essence blood of ferocious beasts? We can discuss it. Seeing Xiao Chun remain silent, the Blood Vulture King thought that Xiao Chun was unwilling. Xiao Chen's lips twitched involuntarily. Is this fellow's biological son? There's no need. Subduing a demon blood vulture with a mutated bloodline would be a great help to me. Xiao Chen felt somewhat embarrassed. Giving him a demon blood vulture for free was already a great gain. He was too embarrassed to ask for other treasures. Ha ha ha. Unexpectedly, there is such a good person like you in the human race. In that case, I will let this unfilial son follow you for 100 years. The mysterious Blood Vulture King in the distance seemed to execute some secret technique. Then, the demon blood vulture in the spirit beast platform cried out miserably. The demon blood vulture in the spirit beast platform released its demonic nature and turned into a beam of red light soaring into the sky. In the next moment, the demon blood vulture quickly descended toward Xiao Chun. Then, this beam of red light turned into a ring on Xiao Chen's index finger. Kassier. Xiao Chun vaguely felt an additional appendage to his soul. This attachment was placed on the scarlet ring on his finger. Goodbye. The horrifying demonic clouds in the sky came quickly and left even faster, going far away like the receding tide. What are they doing? They left again? The little monk asked, feeling it was strange as he rubbed his head. Xiao Chun looked at the ring on his finger. Then, he looked into the distance and said, "They are here to sell their son." Chapter 1835. What? Since the Blood Vulture King only communicated with Xiao Chun, the little monk could not figure out what was going on. What does he mean by selling his son? Xiao Chun smiled faintly and did not say anything more. His gaze fell on the scarlet ring on his index finger, and he revealed a playful smile. Finally, Lin Fan had some means to control the Blood Demon General. As long as he wanted to, he could turn the Blood Demon General into a ring at any time and lock it in his hand. He could boldly increase the Blood Demon General's strength without worrying about a backlash. Where's my dad? Just at this moment, a young but aged voice rang out in Xiao Chen's mind. That was the Demon Blood Vulture's voice. Previously, he had not signed a blood contract with it, so he could not communicate with it. Now, he could use his thoughts to communicate. This was the first time Xiao Chan heard the Demon Blood Vulture's voice, which surprised him. Your dad left. Left? Ha! That scared this old man to death. I thought that old bastard would take me back and lock me up again. Xiao Chen's expression immediately turned petrified, not knowing what to say. What's going on? Why can't I move? What's going on? Xiao Chun patiently explained what happened earlier to the Blood Vulture King. Damn, that old bastard even sold his own son. Is there any justice in this world? Does he still have a conscience? No. Send me back. Xiao Chun entered deep thought. He seemed to understand why the Blood Vulture King was willing to sacrifice himself to give this demon Blood Vulture away. The Blood Vulture King was simply a little demon king. To put it nicely, he was unruly. To put it bluntly, he was a fool. Ignoring the demon Blood Vulture's hooting, Xiao Chun asked the little monk, "How much longer will it take for us to reach the trans-realm transportation formation in the ash-gray sea?" The little monk took out the sea chart. After studying it for a while, he replied, "It is still far away. When we were sent out from the Myriad Star Mountain, we deviated too much. It will take at least 3 to 4 months." 3 to 4 months? That was acceptable. The ash-gray sea was vast, and the Myriad Star Sea was just a corner. Xiao Chun recalled that when he went to the Starlight Sea, it took him 2 months. This time, it would only take him 3 or 4 months to reach the trans-realm transportation formation. Furthermore, Xiao Chun indeed needed 3 to 4 months to consolidate his strength. Now, it is time to discuss the matter of exchanging the incomplete Mahaya abstinence violation saber technique with me. The two of them each had an incomplete manual. Only by exchanging it would they be able to maximize their profits. It was beneficial to both of them. The little monk giggled and said, "All right, I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. I was just waiting for Big Brother to speak. I have grasped a total of 3 moves of the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique. An Immortal Realm, 3 Life Flower, and Merciless Killing. But so far, I've only focused on 1 move in the world. It's better not to bite off more than I can chew for a saber technique of this level. You have to choose a move and understand it thoroughly before connecting it with other moves. Then, your progress will be very fast." Xiao Chun couldn't agree more. Right now, he was only focusing on severing the mundane and was in the process of turning simplicity into complexity. This move was broken down into a set of dreamlike, mundane world saber techniques. There were a total of 3 moves: creating dreams with the saber, entering dreams with the saber, and using dreams as saber. After thoroughly comprehending the saber technique, he would be able to comprehend breaking the mundane by simplifying it. As for the other moves of the Mahaya abstinence violation saber technique, he would be able to achieve twice the results with half the effort. However, the prerequisite was that he had sufficient saber manuals. The two exchanged saber manuals and immediately grasped 6 moves of the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique. After Yin Xian obtained Xiao Chen's saber manual, he said joyfully, "I heard from Master that this saber technique has a total of 11 moves. This way we can find most of them in one go. In the future, we might be able to collect the complete saber technique. If we trace it back to its source, we might be able to practice the foundation of all the martial techniques of my hidden spirit temple, the 3rd move of the Gautama divine palm." Xiao Chun found this strange. He asked, "Could it be that we cannot directly practice the 3rd move of the Gautama divine palm?" The little monk shook his head and said, "A primogenitor grade cultivation technique is simply very difficult to directly practice. There is only 1 move, and it is as vast as smoke, materializing the many powerful techniques of the hidden spirit temple. You can imagine how difficult it is to directly practice it. The foundation of all the martial techniques in the world is the 3 primogenitor grade cultivation techniques: the Buddhist sect's Gautama divine palm, the Taoist sect's true martial divine sword, and the demonic sect's primal chaos demonic scripture. Even though many cultivation techniques that rival primogenitor grade cultivation techniques appeared later, they cannot be called primogenitor grade cultivation techniques, as they are unable to shake off the shadow of the 3 primogenitor grade cultivation techniques." Feeling confused, Xiao Chun asked, "In that case, even if we create our own cultivation techniques, we will not be able to shake off the shadow of the 3 primogenitor grade cultivation techniques." "That is natural. Without the 3 primogenitor grade cultivation techniques, there would be no martial epic. That is the source. Since you and I are in the martial epoch, we cannot shake off this restriction. This is rather interesting. The little monk truly lives up to being from the central great realm. There are many things that Xiao Chun has never heard of before. Then, which of the three primogeniture grade cultivation techniques is the strongest? The little monk quickly replied, without a doubt, the primal chaos demonic scripture is the strongest. Don't ask me why. That is what the ancient books agree on. However, there is no point in thinking so much. The primogeniture grade cultivation techniques are no longer complete, having vanished in a long river of time. There is no way to make up for them. For example, the Buddhist sect's Gautama divine palm only has 4 palm strikes left. The 4 great Buddhist temples each have 1 palm strike. Only 3 of the true martial divine sword remain in the hands of the 3 Taoist sections. As for the primal chaos demonic scripture, it is even worse off. I heard that it is already completely destroyed, not even a complete move remaining. Think about it. Not a single move of the primal chaos demonic scripture remains, but the entire demonic Tao is already boundlessly strong. If someone grasps every move and reorganizes the demonic Tao, the world will experience a great calamity. Hence, there is no doubt that the primal chaos demonic scripture is the strongest. A thought occurred to Xiao Chun. Could it be that the loss of the demonic Tao's primogeniture grade cultivation techniques caused the demonic Tao to deviate from its original meaning? The little monk continued smiling. Hee. As long as we find the remaining 5 moves of the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique, we can learn the Gautama divine palm and move unhindered in the great 1,000 realms. Ha ha! The little monk fell into some sort of fantasy, a boundless fantasy. Xiao Chun asked, has anyone collected all of them? I don't think so. Has anyone practiced the complete Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique? The little monk scratched his head. It seems like aside from the creator, no one has succeeded. Did he rely on the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique to practice the Gautama divine palm? I don't think so. The creator of this saber technique has always been a taboo in the Buddhist sections. There are no records of when the saber technique was formed. Once it was formed, it suffered many setbacks. It was lost several times, and it is now completely lost. I have never heard of anyone restoring it. Xiao Chun smiled and said, hence, it is not realistic to rely on this to practice the Gautama divine palm. It is more reliable to directly cultivate and comprehend it. Even if one cannot successfully cultivate it, one can rely on the Gautama divine palm to comprehend a cultivation technique or martial technique that suits one. This blow dealt the little monk a heavy blow. He stopped thinking. Then, he took the incomplete manual that Xiao Chun wrote for him and went back to study it. Like the little monk, Xiao Chun returned to the cultivation room and started studying it. Although he would not immediately start cultivating it, he still needed to read it. He would more or less gain some comprehensions. In the mortal realm, 3-life flower, kill without mercy, as Xiao Chun read, he felt the Mahamaya abstinence violation saber technique's vastness and heaviness. He felt somewhat curious. What kind of genius was the creator of this saber technique? However, Xiao Chun had too many things to do now. He did not have time to think too much or spend too much time thinking about it. He needed to consolidate his cultivation. It was time to cultivate some of the cultivation techniques that were previously restricted by his cultivation realm after breaking through to the Cloud Sea realm. First was the Ice Feather Divine Incantation. This ice-attributed medial grade earth rank cultivation technique could already be cultivated to a higher level. The Ice Feather Divine Incantation had a total of 6 layers. Xiao Chun, who already cultivated the 3rd layer, prepared to cultivate it to peak consummation of the 6th layer in one go. He wanted to see if he could merge the 6 layers and cultivate it to the hidden 7th layer. However, since this was a medial grade earth rank cultivation technique without any restrictions, it was best to cultivate it to consummation as soon as possible. Xiao Chun took out spirit jades and placed them in the spirit gathering formation under the prayer mat. Then he started cultivating. 3 days later, Xiao Chun successfully broke through and cultivated the Ice Feather Divine Incantation to the 4th layer. After another 7 days, Xiao Chun successfully cultivated the fifth layer without any difficulty. He discovered that his physical body could cultivate the ice feather divine incantation rather quickly. However, he exhausted a lot of resources. In less than half a month, he had exhausted 1,000,000 medial great spirit jades. The sixth layer took longer. He spent half a month before he managed to open all his meridians. Whoosh! After successfully cultivating the Ice Feather Divine Incantation's sixth layer and completing a major cycle, Xiao Chen opened his eyes. He slowly spat out a mouthful of turbid qi. His black hair had already turned white. Vaguely, Xiao Chen felt that the additional ice-attributed energy in his body had a good suppressive effect on his demonic nature. No matter what, he could maintain a clear mind, like ancient ice, unaffected by the various negative emotions. When Xiao Chen looked into the average-sized cultivation room, he saw a chill. Crystalline ice feathers drifted down like snowflakes. It looks like this Ice Feather Divine incantation has some tricks up its sleeve. It is not as simple as I thought. Xiao Chen muttered to himself. He did not say anything more, preparing to give it a try before continuing his closed-door cultivation. He wanted to merge the six into one and break through to the Ice Feather Divine incantation's hidden seventh layer. That would be of great help to his comprehension of the Ice Tao. Half a month later, the little monk, who was playing with the demon blood vulture on the deck, suddenly felt a horrifying chill. His expression changed slightly, and he quickly soared into the air. The demon blood vulture, which was too slow, was very unlucky. Before it could react, the cold chi struck it. In an instant, the entire black cutlass and the demon blood vulture were sealed in ice, turning into ice sculptures floating on the surface of the sea. What a strong will of ice! Big Brother's improvement during this period is somewhat terrifying. The little monk in the air felt flabbergasted. Personally witnessing Xiao Chen's rapid improvement in the ice-attributed energy was indeed shocking. Whoosh! A figure charged out of the ship. This figure had white hair, white robes, and white robes. It was Xiao Chen. Congratulations, Big Brother. You are one step closer to grasping the Ice Tao, the little monk said with a smile. Xiao Chen shook his head and said, although I have cultivated the Ice Feather Divine Incantation's hidden seventh layer, I am still far from the Ice Tao. However, my improvement during this period is real. How about we exchange a few moves? Fighting spirit flashed in the little monk's eyes. He smiled and said, that is exactly what I was thinking. The two instantly exchanged moves. However, they forgot about the demon blood vulture, which was still sealed in ice. Chapter 1836. On the surface of the sea, the rumbling sound did not stop. Xiao Chen and the little monk exchanged blows quickly. Both of them did not draw their sabers and only fought with their fists and feet. They fought back and forth, competing with each other. It was obvious that the little monk was holding back. He did not use the movement technique that he was proud of or the horrifying might of the way. He felt that since he could even kill holy venerates, he should not need to use his full power to deal with his big brother. But thinking like that caused him to suffer greatly. Xiao Chen raised his hand and waved. A chill filled the air, and ice feathers fluttered in the air like snowflakes. The surrounding temperature plummeted. Even the surface of the sea was covered in a layer of cold air. At first, the little monk did not pay much attention to it. However, he soon discovered that the chill in his body was growing stronger and stronger. Even his blood felt like it was going to freeze. His speed suddenly decreased by a lot. Xiao Chen smiled faintly and said, Little Yin Shun, this Ice Feather Divine Incantation's seventh level is not that simple. The chill may seem harmless, but in reality, is accumulating at every moment. It is not easy to expel. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Chen closed in on him step by step. The little monk fought head-on. However, Xiao Chen forced it back step by step. After a while, he was horrified to discover that the cold chi in his body actually turned into ice crystals, solidifying into something solid. They looked crystalline, translucent, and beautiful. However, they were like ice spikes that constantly hurt him. Great Diamond Fist! The little monk roared angrily. He activated the true essence in his body, and for the first time, his Buddhist might burst out completely. Boom! As he punched out, his entire body shone with golden light, and all the ice crystals in his body were shaken out. The surface of the sea surged, and a huge wave surged towards Xiao Chun like the roar of a tsunami. Xiao Chun smiled faintly. He had finally used his full strength. Swinging his palm left and right, he stirred up the chill around him. Then, he unhurriedly sent out a palm strike. The ice quintessence in Xiao Chen's body surged out. Boom! The surging wave that contained the rage of the Buddhist sect's guardian deities shattered under Xiao Chen's palm strike. The seawater instantly solidified into ice. Big brother, looks like I've really underestimated you. As Yenshin stood on the huge, frozen wave, he looked at Xiao Chun. The fighting spirit in his eyes blazed like fire. Xiao Chun gently took 3 steps back and stood upright with his hands behind his back. Then, he smiled faintly and said, "Don't forget that your true strength only rivals that of a holy venerate." Back in the stone pillar space, Yenshin relied on his movement technique to prevent the many holy venerates from surrounding him. From the beginning to the end, he had been fighting one-on-one. In the end, he had relied on the little devil Monk Silver Saber's fame to scare away the group of demonic sect elders. Although his combat prowess was already extremely horrifying, Xiao, one did not overestimate. However, big brother, you are only a peak early stage star venerate. I don't believe that big brother can last 3 moves against my full power attack. The little monk felt strong confidence. His Tao might appeared, and a silver light soared into the sky. Then, he pointed the Buddhist monk saber at Xiao Chun. Now that Xiao Chun was an early stage star venerate, he wanted to know what his current combat prowess was. Xiao Chen's battle hunger soared in his heart. He looked forward to the little monk's next attack. One saber strike. The little monk laughed loudly and spread his arms. A silver light flashed, and the instant his figure vanished, he suddenly appeared in front of Xiao Chun. A horrifying saber might instantly burst out. Although Xiao Chun had 2 kinds of Dao might supporting him, he still could not block it and ended up at a disadvantage. Clang! Xiao Chen's arm trembled. This saber strike forced him to take a few steps back, causing him to lose his footing. Boom! 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 With every step Xiao Chun took, huge cracks appeared on the surface of the sea. After 10 steps, the seawater under Xiao Chen's feet shattered and surged in all directions. Another saber strike. A silver light flashed, and the little monk tore through the sky like a heavenly eagle. Xiao Chun used his consciousness to check, but could not catch the little monk's figure. Xiao Chun could only sense some blurry trajectories, unable to make an accurate judgment. Dang! Xiao Chun only managed to circulate his veritable essence energy and block this saber strike when the little monk suddenly charged to his side. This saber strike directly knocked Xiao Chun into the air, nearly knocking the tyrant's saber out of his hand. Interesting. After landing, Xiao Chun wiped off the blood at the corner of his lips and revealed a faint smile. Now, he finally understood how sullen the holy venerates who fought the little monk were. Such a strange movement technique speed was simply terrifying. The explosive Dao might was also very troublesome. The little monk's Dao might was simply too strong. The little monk's understanding of the saber Dao surpassed Xiao Chen's. With just the pure saber great Dao, the little monk managed to suppress 2 of Xiao Chen's great Dao. One more saber strike. The little monk giggled. Then, he pushed off the ground and sent a final saber strike at Xiao Chun. Heavenly Eye. Xiao Chun quickly opened his heavenly eye, and his vision immediately became 100 times stronger. He could even see the microscopic particles floating in the air. I see it. I see it. With the help of the heavenly eye, Xiao Chun finally captured the little monk's movement trajectory. The little monk's movement trajectory was extremely fast, making it very hard for one's vision to grasp. Xiao Chun attacked decisively. He could not guarantee that he could lock onto the little monk in the next moment. Divine Lightning Eye. Suddenly, rapidly spinning purple petals appeared in Xiao Chen's heavenly eye. 10 bolts of tribulation, lightning instantly gathered from all directions. Then they gathered above the little monk's head before raining down a thick bolt of tribulation lightning. Electric light flickered, and the little monk's body went flying amid an explosion. "This is the moment," Shao Chen shouted coldly. Then he infused the Thunder Great Tao into the Tyrant Saber, instantly bringing out the Tyrant Saber's full might. The Tyrant Saber in Shao Chen's hand changed shape, and a layer of purple lightning fire spread out on its surface. Boom! When Shao Chen swung his saber, it triggered a bright electric light. The little monk, who just got blasted away, appeared somewhat confused. The saber strike that Shao Chen quickly followed up sent the little monk flying. A wound appeared on his chest as he fell somewhat miserably to the sea. "Ha ha! Big brother is indeed big brother. I really did not expect this move." After the little monk stood up, his fighting spirit soared as he laughed without end. Shao Chen sheathed his saber and said indifferently, "Let's fight again tomorrow." "Don't." Yin Shun immediately vomited blood. He had just suffered a great loss, and now Shao Chen actually said that he was not going to fight anymore. Naturally, Shao Chen would not continue fighting. He had already seen the little monk's strength, which made him understand his many weaknesses. Coincidentally, Shao Chen thought of several perfect ideas that he needed to digest and comprehend. Furthermore, he should stop while he was ahead. The first time the heavenly eye and the divine lightning eye merged, Shao Chen obtained miraculous results. However, that might not be the case if he continued fighting. 3 moves are over. Remember not to boast next time. An existence that could instantly kill a holy venerate was indeed extraordinary. This made Shao Chen feel somewhat troubled. The little monk walked over with his head hanging low. Shao Chen consoled him. "We'll continue tomorrow." "It's a deal, then." Yin Shen immediately perked up. His eyes lit up as he giggled. Youths were indeed driven. However, Shao Chen did not know that he already had a vague idea on how to curb Yin Shen's speed. One day was sufficient to change many things. "Big brother, we seem to have forgotten something." Yin Shen suddenly thought of something. The two arrived at the still ice-sealed black cutlass. Only then did they discover that the pitiful demon blood vulture had already fainted from the cold. Finding it strange, Shao Chen asked, "What's going on?" The little monk scratched his head and said, "I dodged too quickly. When I left, I seemed to have been careless and kicked it. I don't remember it clearly." Shao Chen melted the ice and checked it. Then he relaxed and said, "It won't die. Take care of it." "There's no need. Master, I'll just stay in the spirit beast platform." Upon hearing that Shao Chen wanted Yin Shan to take care of it, the demon blood vulture dragged its stiff body and stumbled into the spirit beast platform. After spending some time together, the demon blood vulture had no choice but to acknowledge Shao Chen as its master. Then, the demon blood vulture tragically discovered that compared to Shao Chen, staying with the little monk was clearly more unlucky. "Stupid bird, how dare you look down on me? How could the little monk endure this?" He roared ferociously and chased after the demon blood vulture into the spirit beast platform. When Shao Chen saw this scene, he smiled faintly and sighed in his heart. He did not know how long such peaceful days could last. The closer he got to the Trans-Realm Transportation Formation, the closer Shao Chen got to the Divine Dragon Empire. What kind of changes had happened to the dragon race? Would he be able to meet Ryue? Would his identity as a blue dragon bloodline cause trouble? What were his chances of becoming the Dragon Emperor? Shao Chen's future was destined to be bumpy. After entering closed-door cultivation for one night, Shao Chen started to diligently cultivate the Divine Dragon Body Tempering Art. The Divine Dragon Body Tempering Art's first layer cultivated the dragon veins. The second layer cultivated the dragon bones. The third layer cultivated the dragon blood and tempered vital qi. The fourth layer cultivated the dragon wings. After cultivating it to perfection, one could sprout dragon wings on one's back. With a thought, the blue dragon divine wings would spread out. At that time, the little monk's speed would no longer pose any trouble to Shao Chen. The fourth layer was the Star Venerate realm. It was much more difficult than the Ice Feather Divine incantation. Shao Chen did not think of succeeding in one go. He only wanted to cultivate it to small perfection before arriving at the Trans-Realm Transportation Formation. The sun rose in the east. As promised, Xiao Chun and the little monk fought again. This time, Xiao Chun did not use his heavenly eye or the divine lightning eye. However, the little monk was shocked to discover that when he approached Xiao Chun, his speed slowed uncontrollably. A strange force field surrounded Xiao Chun. It looked gentle, but was actually incredibly ferocious. It was like he was stuck in a quagmire. The more he twisted his body, the deeper he sank. The little monk, who came into contact with the Taiji force field for the first time, suffered greatly. After 10 moves, he still could not gain an advantage over Xiao Chun. The little monk took the initiative to give up and return to closed-door cultivation to study how to break Xiao Chun's Taiji force field. The little monk truly lived up to being the reincarnation of a Buddha. On this day, he managed to think of a way to break it. The little monk infused his Buddhist might into the surroundings, forming a similar force field. When he approached, he used his Buddhist might to clash head-on with Xiao Chun's Taiji force field. Although the little monk did not break the Taiji force field the instant they clashed, many openings appeared in the Taiji force field. Seizing this opportunity, the little monk attacked 3 times, successfully sending Xiao Chun flying. Just like that, the two exchanged blows, fighting every day and discussing after the fight. As Xiao Chun continuously perfected the Taiji force field, the little monk did his best to think of various ways to break it. Both of them improved rapidly. This continued until one day, when Xiao Chun suddenly spread out the 30-meter-long blue dragon divine wings on his back and executed Thunder Dragon steps. After beating up the little monk no longer brought up the matter of challenging Xiao Chun to a fight. Xiao Chun's blue dragon divine wings reached small perfection, and he was only 3 days away from the Trans-Realm Transportation Formation. Chapter 1837. Just as Xiao Chun thought this, a huge wave surged over from the bottom of the sea, carrying a terrifying force. The wave instantly tossed the black cutlass high into the sky. The world spun around. The little monk and Xiao Chun felt their chi and blood surge. Xiao Chun released the arrow, and the bowstring trembled slightly. The demonic hell trembled and crumbled bit by bit, rumbling endlessly. The Black Lotus demonic Buddha statue, which was chanting scriptures with its eyes closed, suddenly opened its eyes and roared ferociously. Then it ferociously threw a palm strike. "Big brother, what are you thinking about?" However, the mask in his hand did not hold back at all. Everything had a limit. Xiao Chun originally wanted to see how many batches of these boundless evil spirits could come out. Xiao Chun found it somewhat difficult to calm down. He fiddled with the mysterious mask that he obtained from the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure trove, the exquisite white mask that looked like porcelain. The third secret technique was the mask clone. It could create a perfect clone. Even a sovereign personage would not be able to tell the real from the fake. A Buddhist proclamation resounded in the sky, echoing over the vast sea. A Buddha statue appeared in the clouds, sitting on a black lotus throne. Many Buddhist halos appeared behind it, filling the sky with a black Buddhist light, spreading over the vast sea. Xiao Chun looked around. It was like a small world had appeared out of nowhere. There were no signs of illusions at all. Layers of Buddhist light layered behind it. A horrifying Buddhist might spread out, appearing boundless. The resentful spirits and evil spirits here were simply the best food for the Yazi beast demon soul. "Little monk, help me buy some time. I have a way to destroy him." Before the Buddha became a Buddha, evil spirits came to stop him. The Buddha did not get angry, sad, joyful, or hurt. He touched the ground with his hand and turned the evil spirits into ashes. That's not right. The aura of this ship feels somewhat familiar, yet strange. It is very strange. I have never had such a feeling before. Soul tools were known as soul tools. Xiao Chun had already experienced the price of failing to use them rashly. Both of them vomited a mouthful of blood, significantly injured. There must be a way to break it. There must be a way to break it. He had collected nearly all the spirit jades that few people cared about in the Scarlet Blood Pirate King's treasure trove. Shao Chun took out the god Shadow Bow, and his soul energy poured into the bow like a flood. The number of medial great spirit jades in his storage ring was even more horrifying. Shao Chun and the little monk drew their sabers in an instant. Saber lights flew everywhere, and tens of thousands of evil spirits were turned to ashes on the spot. Boom! It was his bad luck that brought such a strong enemy to Shao Chun. However, the sea of misery was a vast sea of vengeful spirits and evil spirits. It gathered countless negative emotions, and it was impossible to kill them all. Kill! The two of them were in unbearable pain from the burning, unable to retaliate at all. In the sea of bitterness, they were like evil spirits, causing the resentful spirits in the surroundings to laugh. Amidst the pain, Shao Chun transmitted his voice with great difficulty. Yin Shen's thoughts raced as he thought of all sorts of methods. This was a Buddha statue and not the real Black Lotus demonic ancestor. The Blue Dragon Divine Wings reached the small success stage. Shao Chen's speed increased by more than 10 times after he unfurled it. Returning to the Divine Dragon Empire was perfectly normal. The little monk's expression changed drastically, and a trace of fear flashed in his eyes. Big brother, this is the demonic world's hell. The Black Lotus demonic ancestor personally created it. To think that someone could summon the Black Lotus demonic ancestor. It must be the Black Lotus sect venerate personally coming. The little monk suddenly appeared beside Shao Chun. When he saw Shao Chun in a daze, he asked softly, "Now is the time." Shao Chun slowly discovered that this thought was somewhat naive. There were still 3 more days before they arrived at the Transrealm Transportation Formation. The little monk, Yin Chen's expression changed slightly, revealing a confused expression. A fierce flame blazed in the two's hearts, burning them to the point of pain, causing them to wail in anguish. However, during this period, the little monk had been in closed-door cultivation, thinking about how to defeat Shao Chun again. Shao Chun found this strange, but he did not overthink it. Perhaps the scriptures on the mask were just random additions. More importantly, after the divine dragon war body spread out its wings, it reached a mental state. The piercing Buddhist light forced the Black Lotus demonic ancestor to close his eyes, not daring to look directly at it. Some ancient scriptures were carved on the mask. The two fought to the point of exhaustion on the ship, sinking into an endless massacre. Shao Chun glanced at it and did not care. There are ships coming and going on the ash-gray sea. This is not strange. A huge black palm rushed over on the vast sea, looking like it wanted to crush both the two and the ship. Shao Chun carefully sensed that the mask covered up all of his aura. This included all of his vital signs, allowing all sorts of information to enter his mind. Now, Shao Chun understood that the various incredible functions of the mask were exceptionally miraculous. The Black Lotus demonic ancestor's strength actually more than doubled in an instant. No matter how many came, there was no need to fear. The Black Lotus demonic ancestor's gaze locked on Shao Chun and the little monk. With just one look, the two's sins started burning. This mask was called the Death God Mask. It had 3 secret techniques. The first secret technique was Void Shadow. It allowed the wielder's physical body to immaterialize once a day, blocking all attacks. The wielder's martial techniques would be useless. Shao Chun, who was preparing to go down, entered deep thought when he heard that. Then he stopped. Without even thinking, he formed a hand seal with his right hand and touched the ground with his left. However, he found it hard to calm down. Shao Chun kept having a bad feeling in his heart that he could not get rid of. The mask was different from other soul tools. It was not an offensive mask. One did not need to be strong to wield this mask. All the aggrieved spirits and malicious spirits were instantly extinguished. Burning karmic flame, the little monk blamed himself in his heart. It's me again. I harmed Big Brother again. Black Lotus demonic ancestor. The little monk made up his mind. He did not hesitate to glare at the Black Lotus demonic ancestor. Your sins are boundless, and you are not sincere in your devotion to Buddha. Only the Black Lotus Buddha can pardon you ignorant, filthy people. The cultivators who died at the hands of the two were vaguely visible in the fire, turning into aggrieved spirits and laughing malevolently in the surroundings. With a thought, the great desolate Ian ferocious beast, the Yazi beast demon soul, appeared in the black cutlass. It opened its mouth and sucked in the countless aggrieved spirits and malicious spirits. The little monk smiled in shock. That can't be. Big Brother always looks calm and collected, unfazed in the face of danger, giving others the feeling that he is unfathomable. Do you also have moments of confusion? The amount of sin on the little monk's body was far greater than Xiao Chen's. At this moment, his sin was burning, and he was in even more pain than Xiao Chun. Standing in the sea of bitterness, Xiao Chun looked at the Black Lotus demonic ancestor. He truly did not know how to face the enemy. Unfortunately, the scripture was written in an ancient language of Buddhism, which Xiao Chun did not understand. In addition to the 3 secret techniques, the mask also had many auxiliary functions, such as immunity to illusions and mental attacks, waiting for Xiao Chun to slowly explore them. His cultivation was stable, and he could break through to middle stage Star Venerate at any time. His combat prowess rivaled that of a holy Venerate. Xiao Chun held many soul tools, a mutated fruit for improving his bloodline, and a beast core for strengthening his demonic pet. As the chanting sped up, the horrifying Buddhist might grew stronger. Even Xiao Chun and the little monk found it hard to endure. No matter how one looked at it, Xiao Chun now possessed the capital to head to the divine dragon empire. However, he still found it hard to calm his heart. When Xiao Chen's left hand touched the sea of bitterness, he extinguished the karmic flames covering his body, and a golden swastika appeared on his chest. A resplendent and dazzling Buddhist light burst forth from his body, instantly illuminating this dark space. Demons subduing ground imprint. With a thought, the karmic flames descended. The scene around them changed. Xiao Chun and the little monk felt like they were in hell, surrounded by layers of illusions. The black cutlass charged at the huge palm. The countless malicious spirits in the sea of bitterness suddenly showed ferocious expressions as they pounced at the two from all directions. The little monk suffered from this. Buzz, I'll do my best. As I heard, the dead are already dead. Why bother about the mundane world? There are many things in the mundane world, the past. However, reality did not give the two a chance to catch their breath. The little monk said quickly. A look of despair flashed in his eyes. He had not expected that he would meet such a terrifying enemy. Death God Mask. Is there such a thing as a death god in Buddhism? Compared to the god Shadow Bao and the Cheongchi Beast Ghost Pennant, this was simply inconceivable. The Black Cutlass was from the Abandoned Lands Blue Dragon clan. Returning to the dragon race was like returning a dragon to its homeland. As the Black Cutlass flapped its wings, his bloodline surged. He could feel the surging power and ancient dragon might of the blue dragon bloodline. All the filth of the world cannot live forever. The Black Lotus demonic ancestor hovering in the air seemed to be separated from Xiao Chun by a boundless distance. He was right before Xiao Chun, but also far away, unable to attack. As the scriptures purified the formless Yazi beast demon soul, the scarlet light on its body slowly separated. Xiao Chun said indifferently, "It's not that I'm confused. I'm just feeling somewhat rueful." When the advantage of a great desolate Ian bloodline reached a certain cultivation realm, cultivators without a bloodline would be at a disadvantage. Amid a loud sound, the Black Cutlass broke through that huge black demonic hand like a sharp knife. After putting away the mask, Xiao Chun went to the lookout. He looked at the vast, ash-gray sea and looked into the distance, letting his thoughts wander. Xiao Chun somersaulted and landed on the deck. Then, he stomped heavily on the deck, and a scarlet mist gathered on the ship. Xiao Chun allowed his heart to roam the boundless sea. The sea of bitterness is boundless. Repent, and the shore is at hand. Xiao Chun said honestly, "I feel anticipation and nervousness in the divine dragon empire. It is somewhat complicated. I don't know what I'm thinking, either. Xiao Chun and the little monk's figures flashed wildly. The shockwaves could not avoid knocking them back. At this moment, the sea for 5,000 kilometers around turned into a sea of bitterness filled with vengeful spirits and hungry ghosts. When Xiao Chun put the mask on his face, he instantly felt like the mask had merged with his flesh and blood like a piece of human skin. Just at this moment, the Black Lotus demonic ancestor in the sky suddenly chanted scriptures to purify the Yazi beast demon soul. The second secret technique was the Grim Reaper scimitar. It could summon the mysterious Grim Reaper in the mask to attack, turning his will of soul into the Grim Reaper scimitar. Xiao Chen's body ached, but his heart ached even more. The Black Lotus demonic ancestor sat cross-legged on the Lotus platform, looking at the two coldly without any expression on his face. Xiao Chun knocked an arrow, and the heart flame merged with the arrow. Then, he slowly pulled the bowstring back. With the help of the god Shadow Bao, the Black Lotus demonic ancestor, who felt boundless, instantly locked onto him. Yin Chen looked into the distance and said with a frown, "It seems like a ship is heading towards us. Perhaps I should ask the little monk for guidance. Could be the Black Lotus Church, whoosh. I have to think of a way. No matter what, Big Brother cannot die here." The gigantic Yazi beast demon soul shattered on the spot. In that instant, all the vengeful spirits and malicious spirits that the Yazi beast demon soul swallowed earlier turned into scarlet light and soared into the sky. Familiar yet strange? In that instant, Xiao Chen's crystalline heart of 7 apertures, devoid of any filth, burst forth with a pure Buddhist light. Compared to before, it was a completely different matter. Boom!